A 4-year-old cutie, Zhuobao, was just taking a poop when he unexpectedly gained a mom. Soaking wet, Shi Wei fell from the sky, landing right in the middle of Zhuobao's potty scene. Hooray! A little mermaid fell from the sky. Zhuobao couldn't have been happier. He immediately flew into Shi Wei's arms, coquettishly saying, "Beautiful lady, I'm the young master of the Lin Corporation, showered with love and affection." Looking at the naked little boy, Shi Wei said with embarrassment, young Master Lin, could you please put on your pants first? Little mermaid, are you here to be Zhuobao's bride? No, she's here to be your mommy. Are kids this precocious these days? Shi Wei suddenly realized something about Lin Zhuo. Isn't this her stepson from her past life? In her past life, Shi Wei was the unfavored and useless second daughter of the Shi family. Relying on her beauty, she married Lin Du, the head of the Lin Corporation, which dominates the imperial capital. After marriage, she treated her handsome and wealthy husband with indifference, even dreaming of running away with a scumbag. As a result, she was betrayed by her own sister and the scumbag, meeting a tragic end. Now that she has been given a second chance at life, she must rewrite history and change her fate. And this warm and cuddly little boy in front of her, anyone who doesn't love him is a fool. This harmonious and heartwarming scene was interrupted by a meddlesome busybody. In the next second, both of them turned their heads, giving the same death glare. Shut up, Little Mermaid. I'll take you to change into beautiful clothes for my dad's 27th birthday party. He's very handsome, just like you. At this moment, Shi Wei suddenly understood. She was reborn on Lin Du's 27th birthday. It was on this day that Lin Du took a liking to her, and she later married him. Can you take me to see your daddy? I have something important to tell him. Zhuobao looked reluctant. Zhuobao wants to marry you, but you want to be Zhuobao's mommy. Well, if I think about it, after daddy gets married, won't everything he owns still be mine? Okay, I'll take you to find daddy. This little boy's cunning is probably inherited from Lin Du. Meanwhile, all the high-ranking officials of the Lin Corporation were gathered in the ceremonial hall on the top floor of a luxurious yacht. Lin Du, many socialites, and young ladies are here today. Have you taken a liking to any of them? The purpose of choosing a wife this time is twofold. First, to appease my grandmother, and second, to find a mother for my son. Don't miss out. Just anyone will do. Lin Du's mother eagerly recommended candidates to her son. How about the one from the chief family? Too ugly. I heard Miss Ho is not bad. Talks too much. What about the Kuf family's daughter? Her father has 10 wives. Their family history is too messy. Lin Du's mother was worried sick trying to choose a wife for her son. Son, as long as you like her, I can accept anyone. It's fine, you guys decide. Everyone was about to be driven mad by Lin Du. Do I need to bring in a few men for him to choose from? Just as everyone was at their wits' end, the butler stepped forward to announce, the young master has brought a lady to the banquet. Lin Du was shocked. His son, who always disliked women, brought a woman to the banquet? He was curious about who this woman was. Meanwhile, at the banquet, Shi Wei, dressed in a haute couture gown, appeared before everyone, looking exquisitely beautiful. She blinded the eyes of the despicable men and women present. Among them, Sha Bai, instigated by Shi Fun's family, stepped forward to provoke her. This is Shi Wei. She doesn't have an invitation. She snuck in. Get her out of here. When the security guard approached, Shi Wei presented her invitation with a disdainful look at Sha Bai. My invitation was stolen by this woman. You came just in time. Saves me the trouble of throwing her into the sea and dirtying my hands. Exposed on the spot, Sha Bai flew into a rage and yelled at Shi Wei, "You promiscuous vixen! You already have a fiancé, and you still want to climb into 7th Master's bed. Shameless!" Before she could finish her sentence, slap, Shi Wei promptly gave her a hard slap across the face. Sha Bai was stunned. This useless trash dared to hit me. Shi Wei sneered. Which sewer did you crawl out of? At this moment, Zhuobao tenderly blew on Shi Wei's hand. Mommy, does your hand hurt? Mommy's hand doesn't hurt, but mommy feels dirty. Hearing Zhuobao call her mommy, Sha Bai became agitated again. Oh, you even have a bastard with some random guy. Who gave you the courage to spout such nonsense? Mommy could endure it, but Zhuobao couldn't. Someone, give her a slap. Yes, young master. Little Zhuobao's aura was 2 meters tall. He directly shocked the despicable man and woman. Moments later, Sha Bai was beaten black and blue. But Zhuobao was still not satisfied. How dare you bully my mommy? Hit her harder. Good job. You'll get extra chicken legs tonight. Sha Bai, swollen like a pig's head, cried out in grievance. You're bullying me. I'm Shi Fun's younger sister. Mommy, Shurfinjia is so fake. How fake? Faker than that pig-headed guy's plastic surgery face? Haha, who knows if Shurfinjia is really a dog? Shamelessly, she pretended to go up and flatter, trying to get close. Hello, I'm your aunt. The strong perfume smell on her Meijua bow quickly back away. Daddy said this is the smell of a vixen. Men become unlucky if they get tainted by it. Mommy, is she your older sister? Yeah, the kind born from a stepmother. Like Cinderella's. The ugly and vicious kind. Shabai suddenly hugged Shurwei. Shurfinjia's older sister. You're not worthy to be called sisters with Sister Finjia. This Shabai is such an idiot. Shurwei said coldly. Of course she's not worthy. She's a bastard child. She's certainly not worthy to be called sisters with me. At this moment, the whole venue erupted. It was as if the Shur family scandal was suddenly known to everyone. Shurfinjia's face was burning with shame, but she still pretended to be wronged. Oh, the grudges of the previous generation shouldn't affect our sisterly affection. I treat you sincerely. She spoke sweeter than she sang. It seemed like harsher measures were needed. At this moment, everyone's phones simultaneously chimed with a notification. An intimate photo of Shurfinjia and a dog appeared on everyone's screens. It was truly comparable to a certain public figure's scandalous photos. Shurfinjia and a dog. Everyone was so shocked they couldn't speak. Zhuo spoke directly. Tie the three of them up and throw them into the sea. Shurfinjia cried and begged for mercy. Shurwei, however, was indifferent. Life is only a few decades long. Why should I wrong myself and put on an act for others? A domineering CEO worth over 100 million, yet he couldn't find a wife. On a luxurious yacht, Lindu's butler presented a diamond ring worth 100 million. Shurwei, however, said she wouldn't marry him, only because Lindu hadn't knelt down on one knee. At this moment, Shurwei's father urged her to quickly settle the marriage. Seventh Master, my daughter is ignorant. I apologize to you on her behalf. Meanwhile, her stepmother watched on, hoping to see her become a laughingstock. Seeing this, Lindu immediately and domineeringly defended his wife-to-be that she's my wife. And I think she has a point. A proposal is still necessary. The next second, Lindu walked to Shurwei and knelt down on one knee. He held her hand. Beautiful Miss Shurwei, will you marry me and be my wife? Happiness came too suddenly. Shurwei was a little caught off guard. So, the venomous man also had a romantic side. The pink bubbles in the air were enough to make Lindu's fangirls faint. But Shurwei didn't seem to plan on agreeing easily. What's in it for me if I marry you? You'll own half of all my assets. And my body, then I have a condition. After marrying you, I definitely won't be a stay-at-home wife and mother. I have my own career to pursue. That's not out of the question, as long as it doesn't interfere with having children. In that case, my last condition is that I want to get married tomorrow. Lindu smiled and stood up. He teased, so my wife is so impatient, huh? I like flash marriages. They're exciting. Lindu then pulled Shurwei into his arms. So arrogant. Aren't you afraid that I'll leave you alone in our bedroom after we're married? Shurwei wrapped her arms around Lindu's neck and whispered, Seventh Master, let's make a bet. I bet you won't be able to. Lindu was certain Shurwei was right. You falling for me was a spur-of-the-moment thing, but me falling for you was premeditated. Oh my God, Shurwei is so smooth. Her sweet confession made her gain countless fans. Lindu immediately gave instructions to choose an auspicious time. They would get married tomorrow. The matter was settled just like that. But Zhuo, feeling jealous, hid away and started counting rose petals. Mommy loves Zhuo more. Mommy loves Daddy more. After an unknown amount of time, Zhuo broke down. Why is the last petal always Mommy loves Daddy more? Probability theory is a lie. I'm doomed. Before Daddy kicks the bucket, Mommy has already fallen for Daddy's suit. Unacceptable. We agreed on a movie for 3. When will the scenes where Mommy loves me air? Zhuo tried to console himself. Zhuo is still a baby. It's not embarrassing to lose to Daddy, but this neighborhood's man will never admit defeat. That night, the roses in the garden all suffered at Zhuo's hands. On the other side, Shurwei returned home. She learned from the servants that her younger brother, Xiao Chun, had been kicked out of the house by her stepmother and stepsister. Shurwei finally couldn't take it anymore. She had to seek justice for her brother. Shurfinjia was extremely jealous of Shurwei and deliberately badmouthed her in front of their grandmother. Shurfinjia spent a fortune bribing her grandmother. She dreamed of replacing Shurwei and becoming Lindu's wife. Stroking the sapphire necklace on her neck, grandmother readily agreed. Just at this moment, Shurwei Wei arrived at the perfect time. She threw the makeup bag and accurately hit Shi Finjia. Even deep-sea sharks would find your flesh disgusting. The sight of you makes me sick. Consider yourself lucky I'm letting you live to keep spewing your filth. Next, Shi Wei knocked the smoking pipe out of grandmother's hand. Sparks instantly scattered over her. Simultaneously, embers drifted onto her wrinkled face, making her already ugly mug even uglier. Mr. and Mrs. Shi, who had just entered the house, rushed over. What was causing all this commotion? They immediately ran to their son to complain. Look at your good daughter. Other people's granddaughters are like cozy little vests. Look at ours. She's a drafty little tank top. Wei, you're not even a grandmother yet, and you treat your elders like this. Without us, there'd be no you. Why don't you understand gratitude? Shi Wei scoffed. Dad, you're right. Gratitude is the most important thing in life. But I don't have many strengths, except for my good memory. I remember everything grandmother has done. For example, when I was still a baby, grandmother gave me to human traffickers. Grandmother couldn't explain herself and pretended to faint. Shi Finjia also jumped in to stir things up, yelling, "It was clearly the servant's negligence that let you get taken away. You wretch, how can you falsely accuse your grandmother?" Shi Finjia's father immediately slapped her. "Shut up, you wretch. Do you want the whole world to know about the Shi family scandal?" The commotion had already attracted the Shi family's servants, who were gossiping amongst themselves. Mr. Shi roared, "All of you shut your mouths. If anyone dares to speak, I'll kill them." At this moment, Shi Wei didn't forget to seek justice for her younger brother. "That bitch, my stepmother, and my older sister kicked Xiao Chen out of the house while you were abroad." Mr. Shi's face turned murderous, frightening the stepmother and daughter into trembling. Shi Wei felt the drama wasn't intense enough. She had to add fuel to the fire. Not only was Xiao Chen kicked out, but they also withheld his allowance. Now he can't even afford to eat in the cafeteria, and they won't let our aunt bring him food. Hearing this, Mr. Shi exploded. Slap, slap, slap. Several slaps rang out. The stepmother and daughter immediately knelt down and begged, "Dad, please stop hitting us. We won't do it again." Having watched a live drama unfold, Shi Wei was overjoyed. Finally, she could get a good night's sleep and look beautiful for her wedding tomorrow. Lin Du had only talked to his fiancée on the phone and already had a nosebleed that weighed 10 Gene. Shi Wei, wrapped in a towel, slowly emerged from the bathroom, just as she was worrying about waking up at 3 a.m. to do her makeup. Her phone rang. "Woman, CEO is video calling." This bizarre ringtone was truly hard to get used to. That narcissistic Lin Du had set the ringtone like this, changed the wallpaper and lock screen to his handsome photos, and unilaterally changed her WeChat nickname to Hubby Dearest. When Shi Wei answered the call, "Mr. Lin, why aren't you asleep so late? Are you missing me?" Seeing Shi Wei's alluring figure, Lin Du froze, his cheeks instantly flushing crimson. "Do you always dress like this when video chatting with other men?" Shi Wei suddenly realized that they were still technically strangers. However, it was rare to see Lin Du shy, so she decided to tease him. "Oh, Mr. Lin, do you like what you see? This woman is too bold. I'll remember this. I'll let you off the hook tonight, but tomorrow night, you'll definitely pay double." Shi Wei was momentarily stunned. She had intended to flirt a little, but she had stirred up a hornet's nest. "Did you receive the gift?" "What gift? It's so late." At this moment, a knock came at the door. "Second, miss. Mr. Lin sent someone to deliver a painting." The servant opened the door, and Shi Wei was instantly speechless. What a lovely wedding portrait. Lin Du, however, looked smug. Praise me. It's well painted. Promise me you won't paint again." This wedding portrait looked more like a picture of zombies. Lin Du's aesthetic sense really needed improvement. Mr. Lin, our painting can be down to earth, but not from the underworld. Lin Du was furious. This woman dared to question his aesthetic sense. To smooth things over, Shi Wei volunteered to paint a wedding portrait for them, guaranteeing it would amaze everyone. On the wedding day, Shi Wei put on an elegant and noble wedding dress. She looked absolutely stunning. The servants were instantly captivated by her beauty. At this moment, Lin Du's mother entered. "Wei, I have a gift for you. This jewelry set is a Lin family heirloom. Now it's time to pass it on to you." Lin Du's mother immediately put on Shi Wei. "It looks beautiful on you." Shi Wei, touched, grasped Lin Du's mother's hand. "Mother, please rest assured. I will definitely be filial to you and take good care of Lin Du and Zhuo Bao." Lin Du's mother also seemed to like this daughter-in-law. Her beautiful face is a good match for her son. More importantly, she was able to win over her aloof and eccentric grandson in such a short time. By the way, I heard you have a younger sister named Shirfinchuan. Why didn't you have her as a bridesmaid? Instead, you invited Go Fei, the fourth miss of the Go family. Shi Wei smiled and said that she was her best friend and she wanted to share her happiness with her. In reality, she hated this best friend to the core. In her past life, Go Fei seduced Lin Du unsuccessfully and then colluded with the Go family to kill her. She swore she must entertain her well. Just then, a servant rushed in and said, "Madam, young Master Zhuo Bao is missing." What? Zhuo Bao? Elsewhere, Go Fei was in the men's restroom, fantasizing about Lin Du. 1 second, she was flirting with a bald old man. The next, she was setting her sights on Lin Du, a total green TB *TCH. Just as she was about to leave, bam, her fake nose, done by Dr. Peng, was knocked askew by the door. Standing in the doorway was Zhuo Bao, looking relaxed and refreshed. Unexpectedly, Zhuo Bao was a persistent little guy. He had actually been counting roses in the garden all night. Go Fei suddenly yelled at him, "You little brat, watch where you're going. Do you know how expensive my nose is?" Just as she was about to lay her hands on Zhuo Bao, he didn't hesitate to headbutt her. "Lady, this is the men's room, all right?" Shi Wei, who was looking for Zhuo Bao, heard the commotion and immediately rushed into the restroom. The moment Zhuo Bao saw Shi Wei, he couldn't hold back his tears. He cried, "Which ly, this crazy woman is harassing me. She even tried to hit me." At this moment, Go Fei suddenly lunged forward and pinched Zhuo Bao's little face. "Damn it, this little brat is lying. He needs to be taught a lesson." Zhuo Bao struggled to break free from Go Fei's clutches. "Mommy, it hurts." Shi Wei, standing behind him, lifted her leg and delivered a powerful kick to Go Fei's size 40 face, knocking her senseless. "That's for Zhuo Bao. You better pray he's all right. This isn't over." Go Fei couldn't understand why Shi Wei would stand up for a little bastard. Just then, Go Fei's lover reappeared. Thinking she had found backup, she immediately rushed over to Xiangji. "You have to stand up for me. That little bastard hurt me." Xiangji glanced at Shi Wei and Zhuo Bao. The next second, he forcefully pushed Go Fei away and bowed deeply. "Madam Shi." It turned out that this bald old man was Lin Xiang, a distant relative of the Lin family, the kind separated by more than 10 generations, with practically no blood relation. Lin Xiang looked at Zhuo Bao with concern. "Young master, how did your face get hurt?" Zhuo Bao immediately pointed at Go Fei. She did it. Go Fei hid behind Lin Xiang, but he backhanded her across the face, sending her teeth flying. "You wretch! How dare you hit 7th Master's son?" Go Fei finally realized she had offended the Lin families. Little prince. It seemed her good days were over. The next second, Lin Xiang immediately ordered his men to drag Go Fei away and teach her a lesson. Go Fei desperately pleaded with Shi Wei for mercy. Shi Wei said that it was up to Zhuo Bao. "Young master, I was blind. I shouldn't have bullied you. Please have mercy on me. For mommy's sake, I'll spare you for now." With that, the two turned and left. This was the most bizarre wedding I'd ever seen. The bride waited for the groom at the wedding for 3 hours, thinking he had run away. Then, several helicopters appeared in the sky, with their wedding photos hanging from them. So cool. Lin Du stood on the helicopter, looking down. Oh my god. Is this a wedding or a kidnapping? Even air combat maneuvers are involved. Time to show off my real skills. Here I come. Unbelievable. Is this man an idiot? Isn't he afraid of crashing? My bride has a pretty hot figure. Does anyone here object to the union of this couple? Wait, bro, sorry I'm late. Phew, false alarm. Ignore that idiot. Let's continue. By Qin Xiao, I told you to come early. Where were you? Auntie, my car broke down halfway. I ran here on my 2 long legs. Cousin has good taste. The bride is very beautiful. What? Another clingy person for mommy. Are there any other objections? Wait a minute, who's this? A man with silvery white hair made a dazzling entrance. Isn't that the movie star Chi Tang? He entered with a cool demeanor, then instantly launched into a dramatic performance. Lin Du, how could you betray me? What the heck? This guy's lost it again. What kind of shocking drama is this? Grab your little stools, everyone, and get ready to be blown away. Zhuo Bao was furious and about to jump up from his little stool. I finally let mommy marry daddy, and now someone else is causing trouble. Chi Tang, you big jerk, messing with my daddy again. Just then, Bai Qin Xiao picked Zhuo Bao up. Don't cause trouble, little guy. Uncle Chi is just testing your daddy. Chi Tang appears to be a cold and aloof powerhouse, but in private, he's a total goofball. He often plays the role of a pregnant woman. How sly. He crashed my blind date dressed as Old Man Yibulin, then went after Lindu. He's such a pervert. One time he pretended to be Lindu and barged in on me while I was showering. But looks like there's some real drama about to unfold. Everyone hold on to your popcorn. Lindu gave him a death glare. Chi Tang, are you looking for a fight? You're getting all fierce now, just for a woman? Baby, that's not what you were saying in bed last night. This guy's getting into it. What do I do? What do I do? Help me, internet. Sure Wei walked over to Lindu and smiled. Leave it to me. Lindu was dumbfounded. What could she possibly do? Sure Wei handed Chi Tang a towel. Here, sis. Wipe your tears. Chi Tang swatted Sure Wei's hand away. You vixen, give me back my Lin Gidge. Wow, he's really committed to this. Looks like I'll have to use my ultimate move. Sob sob, I'll cry for you to see. Sure Wei started crying dramatically. If I give him back to you, what about me? Why is heaven torturing me? I finally found the love of my life. Why is everyone bullying me? Chi Tang was completely stunned, his acting skills and IQ both failing him. Sure Wei continued her performance. I was kidnapped by bad guys when I was little and taken to the mountains. I was blind for over 10 years. I finally got my sight back and was reunited with my family, only to be dumped by my boyfriend. Now, I finally have the chance to marry Seventh Master. And just as happiness is within reach, you show up. Oh my God, this screenwriter is too powerful. There's so much information, my brain can't handle it. Sure Wei looked like she was about to leave in despair. There happened to be a river nearby. I wish you happiness. What? She's jumping into the river. The onlookers were all stunned. Sure Wei looked smug. You dare to challenge my acting skills? Honey, I've trained for this. Seeing that things were getting out of hand, Chi Tang quickly grabbed Sure Wei's hand. Wait, I was wrong. You stay? I'll leave. Everyone, let me clarify. I'm just Lindu's good buddy. Miss Sure, you can marry him without any worries. From now on, if anyone dares to bother you, I'll deal with them. And you, Lindu, if you bully Miss Sure, I'll beat you to a pulp. Just like that, they gained a goofy sidekick. A fool's friend is always a dunce. All right, no need to see me out. I have to go back and regroup. I wish you a happy marriage. The farce was over. Husband, let's continue our wedding. This woman is the queen of drama. So, the wedding continues. Are there any other objections? Lindu glanced at the priest. If you ask again, you might be fed to Sebastian. Just to clarify, Sebastian is Lindu's pet Black Panther. Now, the bride and groom may kiss. Sure Wei took the initiative and kissed Lindu. Lindu was stunned. Bai Qingxiao spat out his 82 vintage distilled water. My cousin, the esteemed CEO of a Lin Corporation, was just kissed by his wife. What groundbreaking news. Little uncle, please close your mouth and calm down. Brat, watch your language. What do you mean kissed? But Wei is a truly good girl. I'm so happy someone can finally handle Lindu. This is just wonderful. Lindu touched his lips. Woman, you bumped my teeth. Were you that impatient? Impatient? Not really. I wanted to kiss. You had lips, so I went for it. Speaking of which, Seventh Master, you're like an impenetrable fortress. So boring. Lindu, now annoyed, retaliated by kissing Sure Wei back. The two engaged in a passionate battle of lips, neither willing to give in. After a moment, they stopped, slightly breathless. Well, wife, still bored. How would you rate my kiss? Barely passing. A 6. Your kiss is like you're eating a child. It's scary. Then let me add another 4 points. L'endurez cheesy lines flowed effortlessly. The guests hadn't expected the main course to be so filling. Everyone was stuffed, feeling like they wouldn't need to eat for a month. The woman, seen as a simpleton by the world, teamed up with her little sister and best friend to humiliate him. No one expected his triumphant return. He instantly slapped everyone in the face. At the wedding, Sure Wei and Lindu's faces were brimming with happiness. At this moment, Sure Finjia and Go Ju were plotting how to seduce Lindu. Go Ju is truly despicable. A few sweet words from Sure Finjia, and he's willing to be a cuckold. It's a true case of the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Sure Finjia would never have guessed that Go Fei was also there to steal the groom. I'm the rightful mistress. You'll all be licking my boots. During the best man's speech at the wedding, Go Fei began to humiliate Sure Wei. On the surface, she praised his kindness, but in reality, she was mocking him for being illiterate. Sure Wei rolled her eyes at her several times, quietly watching her performance. The atmosphere instantly froze, and everyone started murmuring. At this moment, An elder of the Lin clan stood up, furious. How can our Lin family marry an illiterate woman who hasn't even read a book? Enough. Lin Du, having returned after changing, had a murderous look in his eyes that, Oh, I need your permission to marry my wife. Witnessing the head of the family's authority, the old man bowed his head and, oh no, I dare not. It's just that she truly isn't worthy. Lin Du wrapped his arm around Shi Wei's slender waist and said gently, my wife, they say you're not worthy. What do you think? Worthy. I am perfectly worthy. The best match, the official match, a match made in heaven. When Yinha couldn't sit still any longer, he pointed at Shi Wei and scolded, you, an illiterate woman, how can you be worthy of seventh master? Everyone seems to have agreed to bully mommy today. Zhuo Bao is unhappy. Zhuo Bao is going to go dark. Suddenly, information appeared on the screen that stunned everyone. Shi Wei's Long Lin Academy diploma. It's time again for the Genius Youth by Qing Xiao to share some knowledge. Long Lin Academy is a world-leading institution with world-class teaching facilities and faculty. It specializes in cultivating geniuses from all walks of life. Due to its extremely high graduation requirements, those who graduate are basically super geniuses. In other words, Shi Wei is not illiterate, but a genius. My wife, you're truly hiding your talents. Having secrets makes you even more charming. But the information from Long Lin Academy is practically equivalent to a state secret. How did this get leaked? What everyone didn't know at this time was that Zhuo Bao had another hidden identity. He was a core member of Tao Tai, an international top-tier hacking organization. Retrieving information was a piece of cake for him. The drama quickly ended, and the troublemakers were kicked out of the banquet hall. Zhuo Bao, thank you for helping mommy out today. How should mommy thank you? Zhuo Bao wants to sleep with mommy tonight. You're dreaming. Trying to steal my wife? Not even my son will be spared. Zhuo Bao pouted white cheek. Why? Are daddy and mommy going to do bad things behind Zhuo Bao's back? The wedding ended in the evening. Shi Wei changed in his sexy pajamas and leaned against the bed. Lin Du, having finished his shower, came out and saw her, and actually asked Shi Wei if she had pulled a muscle in her back. Oh my God, you dense man. Shi Wei is flirting with you. Flirting. Do you understand? One of the 4 great joys in life is the wedding night. Lin Du slowly walked to Shi Wei, lifted the bedsheet, and placed it on the floor. Seventh Master, are you going to sleep on the floor? What are you thinking? This is for you. What? Is this man crazy? Making me sleep on the floor on our wedding night? No, wait. In my past life, he clearly devoured me like a wolf. This creature still needs some encouragement. In the next second, Shi Wei pounced on Lin Du, declaring domineeringly, I'm not only going to sleep on the bed, but I'm also going to sleep with you. Lin Du flipped her over, pinning her beneath him. He leaned close to Shi Wei's ear and teased, Miss Shi, it seems you came prepared to get me. Yes, I went to great lengths because I love you so much. Did Seventh Master also choose me at first sight among so many socialites? It must be love at first sight. Shi Wei's lips slowly moved towards Lin Du's. Slap. Lin Du threw a document, hitting Shi Wei in the face. He stood up looking down at her, just kidding. I don't believe in love at first sight, and you think too highly of yourself. Hurry up and sign the document. Fine, fine. You're the boss. You call the shots. The story is unfolding just like in my past life. On our wedding night, Lin Du made me sign a 3-year marriage contract. However, this big bad wolf kept extending the contract, even wanting to keep me by his side forever. Thinking about the frustration of her past life, Shi Wei now wanted to hold onto this man even more tightly. She smiled somewhat wickedly. You want me to sign? Fine, but Seventh Master must first fulfill his marital duties. No sooner said than done. Half of Lin Du's clothes were ripped off. Woman, are you challenging me? Fine, I'll grant your wish. Lin Du picked up Shi Wei and lectured her. Shi Wei instantly lost all interest. Seventh Master, are you really like the rumors say? That you're... No way. The next second, Lin Du grabbed Shi Wei's hand, pinning her beneath him. Second miss, whether I can and whether I want are 2 different things. Lin Du thought that I married you because Zhuo Bao likes you. Besides, whether you become Mrs. Lin is up to me. Shi Wei hadn't given up on Lin Du. Whether you're willing or not is your business. Second miss, let's be frank. I want you. This woman is too fierce. I'm a man. I can't back down. Lin Du sat calmly on the sofa. Miss Shi, whether you can win me over depends on your skills in these next 3 years. Shi Wei looked at Lin Du with determination. Of course. You'll be mine sooner or later. Having acquired a little pet, ready to feed anyone who bullied his wife to it. Lin Du brought Shi Wei to meet his grandmother. Although Lin Du's mother praised the new daughter-in-law highly, grandmother also wanted to see for herself. Grandmother was silent for a moment, then said, "Ah, Du, this marriage is too hasty. Rushing things is superstitious. Grandmother, have a tangerine to calm down. It's just for good luck. Besides, haven't you and mother been hoping I'd settle down?" Zhuo Bao wasn't easy to convince. Before the wedding, he cried and refused to let me marry his daddy. He wants to marry me when he grows up. That Zhuo Bao, with his irresistibly fatal charm. At the age of 3, he had an early childhood educator. But that woman had ulterior motives. She wanted to get close to Lin Du through Zhuo Bao, and she did a lot of excessive things to Zhuo Bao. Since then, Zhuo Bao has become increasingly resistant to women. After hearing about Zhuo Bao's experience, Shi Wei felt a pang of heartache. Suddenly, Lin Du took Shi Wei's hand. He calmly told grandmother, that day on the yacht, Zhuo Bao showed his fondness for Wei several times. I decided then and there that I had to marry her. Taken aback by the sudden declaration, Shi Wei was stunned. Wait, what? So I'm getting preferential treatment because of my child? Who can act? Don't worry, grandmother. I assure you, I will never mistreat Zhuo Bao. Seeing them united for the child's sake, grandmother couldn't make things difficult. I hope you will raise the child with care. The entire conversation was overheard by Cha Mei. She offered a cup of tea to Lin Du, inviting him to taste it ingratiatingly. Then she picked up another cup and offered it to Shi Wei. The next second, she accidentally spilled the tea, scalding Shi Wei. Cha Mei quickly apologized, but her clumsy acting was easily seen through by Shi Wei. Lin Du immediately showed concern and offered to take her to get some ointment. Shi Wei nonchalantly waved her hand and said, "No need. Just a piece of paper will do." Cha Mei was instantly dumbfounded. Did she discover I was faking? Grandmother was still worried and wanted Lin Du to take Shi Wei for treatment. Shi Wei smiled and said, "Thank you," and then left hand in hand with Lin Du. Shi Wei's magnanimity touched grandmother's heart. She completely ignored Cha Mei's attempts to provoke her. However, Cha Mei's incessant chatter became unbearable for the old woman. Enough, Mumu. Do I need to say more about that cup of tea? It seems this house can no longer accommodate you. Great Aunt will send you to study abroad in Manhwa. When you've acquired some skills, I'll find you a suitable husband when you return. Give up on Adu. Cha Mei refused to leave, crying and insisting on staying with grandmother to show her filial piety. Grandmother understood that her one-sided affection would eventually harm her. She stroked Cha Mei's head, urging her not to be obsessed and make further mistakes, lest she lose everything. Cha Mei reluctantly agreed. Meanwhile, Shi Wei's burn was bandaged. Lin Du ordered a servant to have Sheng Mu brew a pot of tea and bring it over. So you like his tea that much, huh? Are you jealous? Man, you've got it wrong. Jealous? No way. I've taken gunpowder, and you're about to see how I hit the bullseye every time. Watch out, Mr. Lin. Lin Du glans sideweis at Shivayi. You're something else. Still in the mood for banter. Why didn't you make a sound when you were scalded like a pig's trotter? TC, this small injury? I've suffered countless times in Longlen. Lin Du stared at her incredulously, only able to utter 2 words, monster. Shi Wei gave Lin Du a flirtatious look. Have you ever seen such a beautiful monster as me? Ha ha, woman, you're too arrogant. I'm not playing with you anymore. A moment later, the tea arrived. Shi Wei immediately positioned herself in front of Lin Du, putting her arms around him. Husband, if you love tea so much, I'll brew it for you every day, okay? Kamei's fache darkened. She thought, Mr. Lin only likes the tea I brew. Cousin, the tea you wanted. The next second, Lin Du deliberately knocked the tea over. Cousin, ouch. Cha Mei cried out in pain. It serves you right. I did on purpose. Otherwise, another cup of tea would be wasted. Cha Mei was dumbfounded by Lin Du's unexpected reply. Cousin, what are you saying? I don't understand. Lin Du didn't bother explaining further. He directly gave her a warning. Next time you dare spill water on my wife, I'll chop off both your hands and feed them to Sebastian as a midnight snack. Cha Mei realized the seriousness of the situation and immediately knelt down, begging for mercy. Seventh Master, I won't dare do it again. Seeing this, Lin Du decided not to pursue the matter further. You may leave. Just as Cha Mei was getting up to leave, Shi Wei called out to her. Miss, do you have any further instructions? Instructions? No. I just hope you'll change the way you address me in the future. From now on, please call me madam. Shi Wei completely disregarded her status as the old madam's distant grandniece. Cha Mei, acting as a servant, was furious but dared not speak out, especially with Lin Du sitting right there. Didn't you hear her? Lin Du? Cha Mei understood the current situation was unfavorable to her. She pretended to bow humbly. Yes, madam. Inwardly, however, she was still plotting Shi Wei's demise. Shi Wei enjoyed watching Cha Mei squirm, wanting to retaliate but unable to do anything. It was immensely satisfying, but something still felt missing. She immediately switched to her coquettish mode. Seventh master, my burn hurts. Kiss it better. Lin Du was taken aback. This woman was getting addicted to this. All right, seeing as you got burned because of me, I'll indulge you. Blows there. Your handsome husband will blow on it for you. As Lin Du leaned closer, Shi Wei kissed him on the forehead, loud enough for Cha Mei to understand she should back off. Darling, I thought you liked Shengmu tea. I misunderstood you. This kiss is my apology. Lin Du thought, this woman and her sneak attacks, and yet I'm starting to enjoy it. This man is falling in love. A 30-year-old father actually stole his 3-year-old son's food. So the son decided to steal his wife when he grows up. Zhuo Bao refused to eat his vegetables, only wanting meat. Just as Lin Du, his father, was about to give in, Shi Wei said she had a solution. After school, Zhuo Bao happily skipped home. Welcome home, young master. Cha Mei was completely ignored. Zhuo Bao only wanted his mommy, that you're just in time. There's one last soup left. Zhuo Bao eagerly asked for a hug from his mommy. 1 second he was immersed in joy. The next he clutched his little chest. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? It's crushing me. I can't breathe. It wasn't a hug, but the weight of his longing for his mommy. The little cutie's cheesy lines slipped out naturally. Who could say he wasn't Lin Du's biological son? Watching the affectionate mother and son, grandmother looked on in disbelief. It felt like they were more than just a stepmother and stepson. It was subtle, but could their bond withstand a plate of stir-fried vegetables? A moment later, dinner was served. With a malicious look, Cha Mei placed a plate of vegetables in front of Zhuo Bao. The plate was filled with vegetables Zhuo Bao hated. He forced a pained expression. Seeing this, Cha Mei immediately stepped forward to persuade him. Young master, please don't force yourself. I understand you don't like vegetables. As she reached to take the plate away, Zhuo Bao stopped her. It's okay. Mommy made it. Zhuo Bao will eat it. Watching Zhuo Bao hesitate, Shi Wei gave Lin Du a meaningful look. You can start your performance. The next second, Lin Du snatched Zhuo Bao's food. He won't eat it, so I will. After all, Wei worked so hard to make it. That's for Zhuo Bao. That was Mommy's special kitty rice ball. It was already cut open and halfway to Lin Du's mouth. If you don't want it, then consider it mine. Chomp, kitties are so cute. How could you eat a kitty? Shi Wei watched the father and son interact, genuinely worried about Lin Du's old age. Isn't he afraid of getting his oxygen tube pulled out? Asterisk sobs. Asterisk daddy's a meanie. I'm going to eat it all. I won't leave any for you. You'll be drinking the northwest wind tonight. Lin Du, initially just putting on show, found the food so delicious he kept eating. Shi Wei's face radiated happiness as she watched him eat. By now, Zhuo Bao had turned into a jealous little lemon. And oh, if this continues, Daddy will not only steal my food, he'll steal Mommy too. Zhuo Bao immediately embarked on his mission to win back his mother's affection. I'll eat the vegetables, but Mommy has to give me a comforting kiss. Lin Du had already finished his plate. How could Daddy eat all of it? I'm joining the Avengers to take revenge. Zhuo Bao, why don't you and Mommy share a portion? This happiness is so sudden. Zhuo Bao immediately cheered up. Mommy's the best. Mommy cares about me. Mommy fed him a spoonful, scooping up a piece of broccoli. Zhuo Bao actually ate it. Everyone was shocked. Zhuo Bao, you have to eat both meat and vegetables to grow tall. Then you can protect Mommy in the future. That's right, I need to grow up quickly and snatch Mommy away from that bad daddy. Although childhood is a time of innocence, Lin Du felt a pang of jealousy when he heard someone wanted to steal his wife, especially when that someone was his own son. Grandmother was relieved to see Zhuo Bao obediently eating his vegetables. She also told Lin Du to teach Zhuo Bao well in the future. Don't worry, Grandma. I'll definitely treat Zhuo Bao like my own son. Cha Mei, watching from the side, couldn't stand it and started stirring up trouble. Madam, you're so amazing. Even grandmother couldn't get young master to listen to her, but you actually made him obey you. Trying to butter me up? Not so easy, Miss Shinmu. Grandmother loves Zhuo Bao, and Zhuo Bao respects grandmother. There's no need to talk about getting him to obey. Grandmother, your people are getting better and better at talking. L'un du est smai lachide à charpege. Cha Mei was so frightened she knocked over her soup. Finally, grandmother lost her patience and sent her to a farm in the suburbs to feed pigs. Afterward, grandmother comforted Shi Wei and promised to keep Shen Mu out of their sight. Relieved, Zhuo Bao had already silently finished his meal, declaring he wanted to eat mommy's cooking again tomorrow. Of course you can. Watching the easy interaction between his wife and son, Lindu instantly became a cunning old fox. Too proud to admit it, Shi Wei was picked up by a pair of large hands the next second. A real man shouldn't be overly reliant on his mother. Don't you want to marry a wife in the future? No wife, no children, and you'll end up in a nursing home. The nurses will pinch your butt. Zhuo Bao immediately reacted. Then I'll just marry mommy. Shi Wei really couldn't listen anymore. Her son was actually trying to steal his dad's wife. Lin Du casually handed Zhuo Bao over to Zhong Shu, telling him to take Zhuo Bao to do his homework and not to let him sleep until it was finished. Daddy, you're taking revenge, and you're jealous. Watching Lin Du bicker with his son, Shi Wei actually found him a bit endearing. The one knocking on your door in the middle of the night might not be a ghost, but your loving old father. His son merely said he wanted to steal Daddy's wife, and Daddy angrily tore down his door. He even complained about Zhuo Bao's room being old-fashioned. Chuckle. Daddy, your girly heart is overflowing. That deathly Barbie pink you chose is beyond my comprehension. Lin Du cracked his knuckles that I dare you to say that again. Daddy's getting angry. Zhuo Bao gulped. Even Ultraman would cry and run away. Then, Zhuo Bao was only patted on the head. It seemed Daddy also had his worries. He asked Zhuo Bao why he liked Shi Wei. Zhuo Bao almost died laughing. So Daddy was jealous of me that couldn't sleep, huh? As expected, Daddy's here to beat me up. Bearing the pain, Zhuo Bao seriously asked Lin Du, Daddy has so many women. Why do you like mommy? Lin Du was stubborn that I don't like her. Who said I like her? A double negative is a positive that it's just that out of all those people, she's the most suitable to be a stepmother. So, Daddy, you picked mommy because of me? Then will you two get divorced? Lin Du said it depended on Shi Wei's performance. Zhuo Bao was furious. What the heck? I'm making a painful sacrifice. And Daddy's playing hard to get. You can stomp your feet all you want. It won't work. She's my wife anyway. Wah-ah. Daddy's a big meanie. I'm definitely going to steal mommy back. All right, go copy the family rules for an hour. Daddy, I hate you. Back in his room, Lin Du pondered Zhuo Bao's question. Was the reason he chose Shi Wei her beauty? How could I, a dignified self, be so superficial? Her intelligence is only about the same as mine. There are plenty of women with better family backgrounds. This world-class problem was too much even for Lin Du's brilliant mind. Scenes from the wedding flashed before his eyes. That tingling sensation was a bit intoxicating, and those jelly-like lips were irresistible. Thinking of this, Lin Du blushed, a shy pink flushing his handsome face. Just then, Shi Wei pushed the door open. Seventh Master, is that chestnut cake? Lin Du, looking at Shi Wei's jelly-like lips, shyly turned his face away. Knock next time. Shi Wei immediately sat next to Lin Du, her voice slightly seductive. Wow, it smells so good. Saying this, Shi Wei leaned closer to Lin Du's face. Mr. Lin, why don't you give it a try? Lin Du shifted his, but back half a step. Mr. Lin, are you serious with that half step back? Good. You've awakened my competitive spirit. Just watch me beat you. You're not eating? Then I'll give it to Zhuo Bao. Don't you dare. Lin Du shot back a death glare. Eating late-night snacks isn't good for children. He's still mad, huh? Zhuo Bao is just a kid. You're the dad. You should be gentle with your own son. I also wanted to give him a pleasant evening, but ultimately, he brought it on himself. This dad is a little scary. If I were his kid, I'd be scared too. Looks like I'll have to sleep with Zhuo Bao tonight. Oh, look, the domineering CEO is back online. Shi Wei was suddenly tackled. Shi Wei, on our second day of marriage, you want to sleep in separate rooms? Are you afraid people won't know our sex life is disharmonious? Shi Wei was mortified. Mr. Lin, do you have some misunderstanding about sex life? The fans aren't stupid. Are you hinting at something? Lin Du said as he unbuttoned his pajamas. Half-exposed pecs. Shi Wei covered her face, pretending to be shy. But from this angle, his Adam's apple is a little sexy. Shi Wei thought, this playing hard-to-get tactic is working. Is he about to give in? Lin Du saw through her in a second and changed his expression. He heartlessly pushed Shi Wei away. You wish. At this moment, the excited Lin Du pretended to be calm and turned towards the bathroom. Shi Wei quietly watched his act, thinking to herself, you're just struggling. Sooner or later, you'll be mine. The domineering brother-in-law meets the misunderstanding king. They bicker as soon as they meet. The proud CEO is jealous even of his brother-in-law. We are a legally married couple. I don't care if you agree or not. The two were on the verge of war. This is so childish. Shi Wei couldn't stand it anymore and had to intervene. Seventh Master, can I talk to Xiao Chen alone? His wife had spoken. Seventh Master coolly left, disdaining a direct confrontation. But he peeked from afar. Lin Du immediately had someone set up surveillance in the garden. In the garden, Shi Wei persuaded Xiao Chen to get along with Lin Du. He's your brother-in-law after all. Xiao Chen reluctantly agreed. Tomorrow, we'll go back to the Shi family home. Upon hearing Shi family, Xiao Chen vehemently objected. Shi Wei explained that they were going back to reclaim their inheritance, so those two scoundrels wouldn't get their hands on it. We siblings are the rightful heirs of the Shi family. Besides, how can we let those people get their hands on the assets our mother left us? Xiao Chen was indeed unwilling, and the thought of reclaiming the family fortune and protecting his sister motivated him. He agreed to go back tomorrow and take back what belonged to them. As they talked, Xiao Chen lazily lay down on his sister's lap. I miss Mom. Lin Du, watching everything from the surveillance room, immediately became a jealous mess. These siblings are way too close. Shi Wei's eyes looked a little sad. He missed his mother too. They lost their home after their mother passed away from illness 6 months ago. On the day of the funeral, Shi Chuan showed up in festive clothing, trying to snatch her son. It was disgusting. But now, his sister is married. Hearing this, Xiao Chen still objected to Shi Wei's marriage. It was too hasty. He even urged her to get a divorce before the Civil Affairs Bureau closed. Shi Wei was exasperated. Didn't we just agree not to give Lin Du a hard time? What's with this again? Lin Du is actually a good person. Aside from being a bit picky, he has no flaws. Xiao Chen then mentioned the rumors about Lin Du's supposed inadequacy in that department. But he hasn't done anything weird to you, has he? The man in the surveillance room was about to explode. I really appreciate you, brother-in-law, for worrying about this. Shi Wei blushed and said, Don't say my husband is no good. He's very vigorous. Xiao Chen was speechless. In that aspect, had his sister been completely conquered by Lin Du? Don't worry, sister is very happy. Shi Wei was really good at making things up. She almost believed it herself. Since they were on this topic, Xiao Chen reminded her to take precautions. If she got pregnant, there would be no turning back. Shi Wei wanted to tell him she was already painlessly pregnant. Lin Du smirked as if he had a big trick up his sleeve. At that moment, the butler appeared in the garden. The master invites young master Shi Quan to lunch. Please come to the dining room. He then handed Shi Wei a key. The master has designed a shoe room for you. There are several thousand pairs. He also said that the shoes young master Shi Quan gave you can be replaced. Shi Wei awkwardly accepted the key, thinking money talks, huh? Moments later, the atmosphere in the dining room was thick with tension. Sis, your favorite sweet and sour ribs. The only one who eats chicken. Shi Wei watched her husband and brother bicker like a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, rendered speechless. She had to find them some common ground. Xiao Chen is a campus heartthrob at school with millions of Weibo followers. Does he have a girlfriend lately? Unexpectedly, this gave Lin Du another chance to show off. Seventh Master, your Weibo followers just broke a trending record. This clearly wasn't the effect Shi Wei wanted. Xiao Chen suddenly asked, Sister, you have no shortage of suitors. Why did you choose my brother-in-law? Because he can give me a real home. Lin Du looked seemingly touched by Shi Wei's words. A faint smile curved his lips. He enjoyed watching his sister and brother-in-law's loving interaction during dinner. Shi Quan felt like a third wheel. After dropping his sister and brother-in-law off at home, Shi Quan thought about the vicious woman, determined to reclaim his mother's inheritance. At the Shi family's gate, a group of people bowed and scraped obsequiously. The moment they saw only Shi Quan and Shi Wei, their expressions changed instantly to is 7th Master Lin not feeling well? Did he not come? Shi Wei coldly stated that he simply didn't want to come. Wen Yin, Shi Quan's father, berated Shi Wei for her willfulness while lamenting the money wasted on preparing for Lin Du's arrival. Shi Quan was glad Lin Du didn't come. Otherwise, he would have seen these people's ugly faces. After all, Grandma sold me to human traffickers back then. Dad had an affair. My sister stole my fiancé. Which one of these things isn't harmful? With one look from Grandpa, Grandma trembled that MY sister is awesome, hitting the snake right where it hurts. The group instantly fell silent. Grandma was truly a master at walking into trouble. My dear grandchildren, your mother personally cooked a table full of delicious dishes. Let's eat first. Sher Kwan sneered. My mother is dead. Which mother are you talking about? The atmosphere instantly dropped to freezing. Just as Yi Bai-Chi thought the drama was about to escalate, Sher Wei turned and gave a death glare that we only have one mother. As for that imposter who climbed into position through an affair, she's not even fit to shine my mother's shoes. Hearing this, Yi Bai-Chi wanted to charge at Sher Wei and start a fight. At that moment, Grandpa roared, "Shut up." He then ordered Sher Finchuan to take the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law upstairs to reflect. After all, the Sher family still relied on the Lin family's support and had to appease them. The next second, he turned to Sher Wei and her brother with a fawning smile, inviting them to sit. Let bygones be bygones. Grandpa will compensate you double in the future. Sher Wei smiled and agreed, but she definitely planned to find an opportunity for revenge. Grandpa, we came back today mainly to discuss something. Xiao Chun is already 18 years old. He should be given some training in business management to lay the foundation for him to inherit the company. Sher Finjia, standing to the side, was instantly dumbfounded. So they were back to fight for the family inheritance. Annoyed, she started probing. Didn't you say you didn't want anything to do with this family? Why do you suddenly want to inherit the family property? Did someone put you up to this? This insinuation made Sher Fuyu suspicious as well. You really don't get the point, big sister. My meaning is that I want Xiao Chun to swallow the Sher family's assets whole. Exposed, Sher Finjiao was extremely embarrassed. Sister, you misunderstood. Sher Wei flashed her pigeon egg-sized diamond ring. It sparkled blinding everyone. My husband has plenty of money. Who cares about the Sher family's meager assets? But since Big Sister asked, do you have designs on the Sher family's business? Sher Finjiao really knew how to flatter herself. My abilities are obvious to all. As for the family property, I have no interest. Sher Wei ignored her explanation and addressed her directly. Firstly, your reputation is ruined. You're no longer qualified to be the heir. Secondly, Finfong Entertainment's impressive figures are actually inflated. Thirdly, since Big Sister has no ulterior motives, why not withdraw from the Sher family's core management and take a vacation? Before Sher Finjia could retort, Sher Quan added, that's a good idea. Big Sister can take your fiancé to the beach. I heard he's been kicked out of Go family management. The siblings' coordinated attack was seamless. There was no more satisfying drama than this. Infuriated to the point of vomiting blood, Sher Finjia prepared to unleash her ultimate move. She took out her phone. Everyone's eyes widened in shock. The phone displayed intimate photos of Sher Quan with several business tycoons. Without bothering to discern the truth, Grandpa immediately ordered Sher Quan to get out of the Sher family. Even though Sher Quan explained that the photos were fabricated, Sher Wei stepped forward and said she would handle it. As Sher Quan tried to explain, Sher Fuyu snatched Grandpa's cane, intending to beat Sher Quan to death. Sher Wei grabbed it. I have a surveillance footage from that night. Sher Wei clapped her hands, signaling her personal maid, Xiao Li, to make her grand entrance. In the surveillance footage, Sher Finjia, besides making a few big shots drunk, didn't do anything else. I just found the original photo. Sher Finjia immediately yelled that the previous one was the original. Just watch. This is the moment Sher Wei witnesses a miracle. The person in the original photo is actually Sher Finjia. Talk about an eyesore. Faced with irrefutable evidence, Sher Finjia is still making excuses. Sher Wei immediately presents further proof. I also found the IP address where the photo was leaked from. It's from a new orange phone at the Sher family villa. Wen Yen, Sher Finjia's father, was furious. Slap, slap. He gave Sher Finjia a few hard slaps. In the end, Sher Finjia was kicked out of the Sher family management. At the same time, the siblings successfully obtained the liquidation documents for their mother, Qiao's, estate. But it's clear the estate has already been emptied by Yi Bai-Chi and her daughter. They even turned it into negative assets. Mom had 250 in savings, but her son has 1 billion. Sher Wei was busy at the Sher family for half a day, only to find her mother's estate liquidated and turned into negative assets. Her savings are only 250. Forget about starting a business. Just not starving to death is a win. You originally wanted to borrow money from your senior brother and sister from Longling, but unexpectedly, they're all either crippled or destitute, and they still need to rely on your charity. Don't say anymore, my heart is bleeding. but I don't regret it. After all, everyone took good care of me back then. Just then, Zhuo Bao appeared. He casually pulled out an Ultraman card and declared he would support Sherwei. Sherwei innocently thought Zhuo Bao was just being cute. Little did she know she was being too hasty. The Ultraman card's true identity was a bank book with a 1 billion deposit. 1 billion is dazzling, but she still has her wits about her. Mommy can't spend your money, Zhuo Bao. But Zhuo Bao doesn't want Mommy to starve. It's okay. Zhuo Bao will save his money to get a wife. When Mommy makes money, I'll build you a zoo. Zhuo Bao was so happy he wiggled his butt. As you run, you also have an unlimited black car from 7th Master. You can swipe it as you please. The slightly proud Sherwei just didn't want to use it, but she finally thought of a solution. If she can't directly take the money, she'll have Lin Du invest. At this moment, Lin Du's inner thoughts. You're treating me like a human ATM. Zhuo Bao's sadness flowed like a river. It's all money, but Mommy only wants to spend daddy's. On a beautiful, sunny afternoon, Sherwei took her proposal to Lin Du. After 2 hours of eloquent persuasion, she secured a 5 million investment from him. Lin Du simply considered it as giving his wife some play money. Thank you, Mr. Lin, for your investment. I offer you my heart, but 7th Master, you're suddenly so generous. I'm a little scared. As expected, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Lin Du started to set conditions that if you don't make any profit in 3 months, you can just stay home and be my wife. How come this sounds like a threat, yet has the scent of dog food? Sherwei was full of confidence. If I succeed, 7th Master, will you willingly fulfill your husbandly duties? Deal. Lin Du had a look of anticipation on his face. Having secured the funds, Sherwei immediately notified Xiao Chun to arrange model auditions. Hearing this, Lin Du pictured tall, leggy, fair-skinned male models. Terrible. Won't my jet black hair turn shiny then? No, give it back. He started to snatch the check from Sherwei's hand. Why would I, someone making women's image products, not have a few sexy female models at the opening ceremony? That wouldn't be right, would it? Woo, Lin Du, you're overthinking it again. Awkward. Haha. 7th Master, did you think I was going to hire male models? You're wrong. Please, you men always see us women as so shallow. In front of beautiful women, handsome men are simply not worth mentioning. Too young to appreciate older sisters, mistakenly taking pretty boys as treasures. Lin Du was dumbfounded. Sherwei is so magnanimous. Is she treating him like a sister? As expected, in this era, the men around your wife want a house, and women want a house even more. You should take it back. Sherwei was speechless. This man's jealousy was enough to kill all living things within a few hundred miles. 7th Master, a real man never goes back on his word. Seeing that reasoning wouldn't work, Sherwei sighed deeply. Alas, as expected, a son is more reliable than a husband. Just then, Lin Du stopped Sherwei from leaving. Fine, I'll give it back to you. I'll just go borrow money from Zhuo Bao. From now on, I'll only cook for Zhuo Bao. At that moment, a gust of wind blew the check away. Seeing the check about to escape, Sherwei, without thinking, stepped onto the windowsill and jumped after the check. Luckily, there was a swimming pool below. Lin Du took off his expensive suit and jumped in after her. Splash, splash. The two soaked figures stood up in the pool. Are you crazy? How did you wake up after jumping from the 2nd floor? Sherwei was still disoriented. Lin Du took her hand and asked if she was hurt. He surely didn't know that Sherwei had received professional training back on the farm. This height was child's play for her. At this moment, Lin Du anxiously scooped Sherwei into his arms that let's go see a doctor. It was a rare display of genuine emotion. It would be a shame not to tease him a little. Sherwei cried dramatically, my leg is hurt, and the check is wet. It's all your fault. Although Lin Du acted tough, he couldn't bear to see Sherwei cry. He promised to write her a new check. Sherwei seized the opportunity and quickly cupped Lin Du's face, kissing him on the lips. Hearing the news of the two jumping from the building, Lin Du's mother panicked, thinking Lin Du had relapsed and was trying to kill Sherwei. However, when she arrived at the window, she saw the two locked in an embrace. A wave of relief washed over her. She secretly rejoiced, thinking that at this rate, she would soon have another grandchild. At the same time, she sincerely hoped that Sherwei's gentle nature would be the cure for Lin Du's condition. Beware of fire, theft, and your brothers. This poor guy has 2 troublesome brothers. An arms dealer invited his wife to a concert. A real estate tycoon even gifted him a building. What should he do? seeking help online. Feeling rather anxious, Lin Du called Shi Wei and told her that he had 2 brothers who wanted to meet her. Shi Wei agreed with a smile to go with Xiao Chun, but she really didn't want to see her sister's clingy husband. Just then, Bai Qingxiao's provocative voice came through the phone. "Oh, sister-in-law, my brother wouldn't happen to think he's not good enough for us, would he?" The two hadn't even met, and the air was already thick with tension. To prevent Bai Qingxiao from getting beaten up, Lin Du immediately hung up the phone. Bai Qingxiao was definitely a chest my brother is rich, handsome, and out of this world. Half an hour later, Shi Wei made a dazzling entrance. "Darling, I'm here." Lin Du glanced back, his expression neutral. Though he acted indifferent, he was secretly thrilled. He stepped forward, putting his arm around Shi Wei's waist. He introduced his wife to everyone. My wife, Shi Wei. My brothers, Chang Tian and Kuan Nanfeng. The 2 big shots were visibly nervous, fidgeting and shifting their weight. For a long moment, neither responded. Lin Du looked at them as if they were idiots. "Are you 2 in detention? Come here." The 2 instantly reverted to childish behavior. "You go first." "No, you go. It's more comfortable in the back." It seemed that Shi Wei's beauty had not only captivated Lin Du, but also charmed his 2 brothers. Having never seen his brothers so flustered, Lin Du was amused. "Are you too shy?" Shi Wei couldn't help but laugh. She hadn't expected the arms dealer and the real estate tycoon to be so innocent. Shi Wei extended her hand in greeting. Chang Tian, acting bashful, stepped forward. "Nice to meet you, sister-in-law. I heard you're from Longling. Let's go shooting sometime." As if wanting the world to know he was jealous, Lin Du immediately stepped forward and swatted Chang Tian's hand away. "We're all lovey-dovey. What's shooting? I'll take my wife to a concert. I seem to recall you roughneck, falling asleep and snoring during Bach." Shi Wei awkwardly stepped back. This display of brotherly affection was interrupted when Kuan Nanfeng stealthily approached Shi Wei from behind, gently tapping her shoulder. He then handed her a red booklet. Shi Wei politely accepted it, but upon opening it, she was stunned. Poverty had limited her imagination. The tycoon had actually gifted her a building as a first meeting present. "Mr. Kuan, this is too much. I can't accept it." At that moment, Bai Qingxiao patted Shi Wei's shoulder. "Sister-in-law, just accept it on behalf of my brother." Suddenly, Shi Chen appeared out of nowhere and grabbed Bai Qingxiao's hand. "Old man, I heard you're going to give me psychological counseling." Being called old man, Bai Qingxiao bristled. "I'm in the prime of my youth. How am I an old man? You're eavesdropping on other people's conversations. What else would you be but a nosy old lady?" The 2 childish brothers continued to bicker, neither willing to back down. Next, the 2 brothers began a talent show. Shi Wei was mesmerized. Lin Du, however, was annoyed. The next second, Chang Tian pulled out a large red rose. "Sister-in-law, this is for you." Lin Du was dumbfounded. This simpleton had hidden depths. Romantic island getaway. Here we come. Wei graciously accepted the bouquet. When Lin Du gave her a look that could kill, Wei felt a sudden chill down her spine. With a flash of inspiration, she quickly changed the subject that "I didn't even toss the bouquet at the last wedding. I'll make up for it today." Lin Du watched her walk towards the steps, wanting to put his arm around her shoulder. "Let all you perpetually single folks share in our happiness." Ha ha ha. "Hey buddy, what's your problem? Having a wife is no big deal. I have freedom. Freedom, you understand?" As soon as the words left her mouth, Wei tossed the bouquet. Seeing this, 2 of the previously indifferent men immediately jumped up to grab it. The bouquet landed squarely in the arms of the 2 men who were just arguing. Lin Du jokingly remarked, "I heard whoever catches the bride's bouquet is the next to get married. Looks like you 2 are destined to be together." The 2 men exchanged awkward glances. "I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sicker than you. This trauma might be incurable." Watching their reactions, Wei laughed even harder. Chang Tian glanced at Wei, his expression slightly serious. He seemed to recall the Empire's most wanted criminal from a few years ago. But that woman was said to be allergic to pollen, yet Wei held that special rose for so long. Did I see wrong? I'll investigate further before telling adieu. A father went to pick up his son from school, but couldn't recognize him. That evening, Lin Du and Zhuo Bao arrived home, both with gloomy expressions. "What's going on here?" Before Wei could comfort Zhuo Bao, Lin Du quietly called her aside. Lin Du explained that when he went to pick up Zhuo Bao, the kindergarten was rehearsing a dance. All the children were wearing animal costumes. I couldn't recognize Zhuo Bao. To avoid embarrassment, I gave the little deer a kiss. hugged the little penguin, and lifted the little kitten. Turns out, the little bunny standing at the back was Zhuo Bao. He just silently watched me interact with the other kids in ways I've never done with him. He must think I'm a jerk. Now he's ignoring me. I wouldn't talk to you either, Wei said, looking at Zhuo Bao's pitiful face. She called out to him, Zhuo Bao, your uncle is in mommy's room. Do you want to play with him? What's with the long face? Who cares about daddy? Zhuo Bao instantly cheered up and turned around. The uncle who looks like a golden retriever? Lin Du was dumbfounded. I'm your dad, and I've never seen you that excited. Zhuo Bao glared at Lin Du when it's Zhuo Bao's birthday. Lin Du blurted out, November 8th. Game over, isn't it? Perhaps January 18th? Awkward. Capital A awkward. Excuse me, I'll just go now. In Wei's room, the two were hitting it off. Uncle, I think you're more handsome than all those so-called idols. If you debut, I'll be your biggest fan. Then remember to cheer for me, Zhuo Bao. Just then, a business opportunity sparked in Wei's mind. Xiao Chun, there's a really popular talent show recently. Why don't you give it a try? Use this show to boost our studio's popularity. Xiao Chun considered it and agreed. When he asked who should design the outfit for his solo debut, Wei thought for a moment, her sights set on the internationally renowned designer, Zue 12. That notoriously aloof genius designer who doesn't even give face to European royalty. Xiao Chun thought Wei was being overly optimistic. Don't tell me the Zue 12 is a friend of yours. Not really, it's just that in my past life memories, Zue 12 was falsely accused of plagiarism by his assistant, blacklisted by the industry, plagued by scandals, and ultimately overwhelmed. He ended his life at 29. Even years after his death, his name wasn't cleared. Since I know the truth, helping him change his fate and becoming good friends, making him one of my top generals, is a piece of cake, right? Wei then told Xiao Chun to focus on preparing his song. As she spoke, Wei's smile became a bit mischievous. Leave the rest to me. It's a done deal. Wow, sis, you have a scary smile. You're Zue 12's biggest fan, aren't you? You have a truckload of his posters. Nonsense. Oh my, mommy's blushing when we talk about Zue 12. Zhuo Bao quickly jotted it down in his little notebook. Mommy's true love is Zue 12. Daddy's been a bit too sweet lately. Time to add some vinegar. Zhuo Bao then happily went to Lin Du's study. Mommy's true love isn't you. Zhuo Bao was looking forward to seeing his dad's jealous and distorted face. But Lin Du remained calm. The next second, Zhuo Bao was dragged away by Lin Du, punished to a month of scholar training and forbidden to go home. Daddy's a big meanie. Zue 12 is mommy's true love. Although he didn't say it aloud, he was seething with jealousy inside. Lin Du, fuming, opened his computer and looked up his rival's information. Zue 12, genius designer, male body, female heart. What the heck is this? Sure, Wei's taste is way too strong. Lin Du thought, looking up information behind someone's back isn't my style. I'll confront her directly. Lin Du went to Sure Wei's room. Sure Wei, this is a good time to report on work. And the studio is off limits. Go to the study. Let's do it here. I'm going straight to sleep afterwards. Sleeping in separate rooms violates our marriage contract. Seventh Master, are you having a personality split? Every night I went to you, I was shut out. I'm a charmer, not a doormat. Sure Wei's aura was powerful. Lin Du subconsciously took half a step back. I don't need you to try and seduce me, especially since you're probably not sincere. Lin Du turned his back to Sure Wei. Sure Wei was unhappy that his sincerity was questioned. He stepped forward and grabbed Lin Du's shoulder. With a hurt expression, how can you say I'm not sincere with you? Lin Du instinctively grabbed Sure Wei's hand, fingers intertwined, staring at him, still thinking about what Zhuo Bao had said. But in this situation, he couldn't continue holding his hand. The next second, he let go of Sure Wei's hand. Get some rest. He thought, I'll wait until Chong Tian investigates Sure Wei thoroughly before deciding what to do. He then turned and left, leaving a bewildered Sure Wei. Back in his room, Lin Du regretted arguing with Sure Wei. This stubborn guy. The next morning, Lin Mu prepared Chinese medicine to nourish them. Hearing this, Lin Du said sarcastically, give him a good dose. He must be depleted after all that time at Shijia, so his personality can fully develop, and he won't be so overly sensitive. Seventh Master is the one who needs a good tonic to cure his fickle, dreaming, worrying, artistic, and ever-changing heart. Drink up. Whoever doesn't is a dog. Lin Mu awkwardly watched them bicker. These two had just reconciled, and now they were at it again. Wei suddenly stood up. Mother, I have an appointment. I'm heading out. Then he looked back at Lin Du. Seventh Master won't be back late, will you? Please leave the door open for me. Lin Du was putting on an I'm angry and impossible to appease act. Seeing no reaction from Lin Du, Wei had to leave. So difficult. This man is even harder to appease than in the past life. Lin Mu was truly exasperated for his son. His wife gave him an out, and he wouldn't take it. He'd rather jump even higher. He's not afraid of falling to his death. I must have forgotten to give you a heart when I gave birth to you, you little brat. Lin Du muttered. I didn't ask him to grovel. It seems Mr. Lin doesn't know what it means to regret mistreating his wife. The wealthy young mistress, with the $5 million her husband gave her, actually went to a fast food restaurant to work as a cook. Lin Du, who was still being haughty in the morning, actually followed Wei to the burger joint, just as Wei was cheering with his senior and senior sister. He made his grand entrance. Hello, everyone. I'm Wei's handsome husband. Lin Du. Wei was surprised. Why are you here? The senior and senior sister craned their necks to look. Lin Du was forcing a smile. He thought, this woman borrowed $5 million and actually came here to be a junk food shorter cook. Lin Du sat down, and Wei introduced his senior and senior sister. It was said that the senior sister and Wei were very close. Watching their interaction, Lin Du could see that Wei was a genuine person, not the type to betray or deceive. Just then, Lin Du felt a chill. The senior sitting opposite him had a look that was just like a father-in-law meeting his son-in-law for the first time. Seventh Master, you know so many outstanding young people. Why don't you set up our senior sister with someone? Lin Du looked confused. He had assumed the senior and senior sister were a couple. The senior sister waved her hand that don't be silly. Lao Ji's kid is already in elementary school. The senior, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke. Shimmy, you just called Mr. Lin's seventh master. Is that a normal way for a married couple to address each other? Wow. Who said the senior wasn't an interrogation expert? He could see through things with just one sentence. To dispel the senior's suspicions, Wei immediately reached out and caressed Lin Du's face. We call each other seventh master. Didu, hubby, darling, that we switch it up. Lin Du thought, Wei, you're quite the storyteller. A few words didn't seem to satisfy the senior. The key was Lin Du's attitude towards Wei, which made the senior feel that he was constantly guarded. The senior summed up their relationship in one sentence. Wei recalled Lin Du's attitude towards him. It was indeed as the senior said. Does he suspect that I married him with ulterior motives? The senior sister suddenly exclaimed, I remember. Mr. Lin, I've seen the rumors about you and Chi Mata. Don't tell me you're in a sham marriage. Which marketing account started that rumor about the spiritual incompatibility? I'll blow them up. Wei's senior sister slammed the table excitedly at Mr. Lin, please prove you're straight. Prove you love me. Right here, right now. Mr. Lin sighed. He picked up the glass of baijiu in front of him and downed it in one gulp. Dutch courage. The next second, he put his arm around Wei's neck and kissed her on the lips. The sudden kiss caught Wei off guard. But the next second, she took the lead. Pink bubbles filled the entire restaurant. Oh no, are we sure we're allowed to watch this without paying? Don't worry, we're a normal married couple, madam. Since my senior sister doubts my relationship with Chi Ma-tong, why don't we let them meet? Let my senior sister interrogate him personally. Lin Du then promptly sold out his good buddy to his senior sister. Here's his business card. Later that night, Lin Du carried a completely drunk Wei back to their room. Lin Du was impressed by her alcohol tolerance. She'd actually managed to finish a whole bottle of vodka. Whether it was the alcohol or the lighting, Wei looked rather beautiful. Lin Du blushed, remembering what had happened at the restaurant. He apologized. I'm sorry I kissed you so suddenly back there. I was out of line. It won't happen again. Hearing this, Wei sobered up and sat up. Tugging on Lin Du's tie, she said, no, you need to keep doing that. Good heavens, was this woman playing with fire? In the blink of an eye, Wei had pushed Lin Du down. Let's talk about something serious. You had someone investigate me, didn't you? Since you've already figured it out, I'll tell you. Aha! Wei laughed wildly. Your people are so useless. We've been married for 2 months, and they haven't found anything out. Return my innocence. Lin Du was dumbfounded. What was with this woman's bizarre train of thought? He sat up, about to explain. When Shui put a finger to his lips, no need to explain. A clear conscience fears nothing. Saying this, Shui hugged Lin Du tightly. Lin Du, I'm not angry that you investigated me. Because I like you. I like everything about you, including your suspicion, your arrogance, and your awkwardness. Not just your handsomeness and wealth. This sudden confession made Lin Du's heart race. Now that the mood was set, Lin Du wasn't going to be polite. Cupping Shui's face, he said, "Bring it on. I'll see you to the end." Shui understood this as a mating call. "Come here and kiss me. You said you'd see me to the end. You're such a tease." Lin Du, I heard doing radio calisthenics is good for your physical and mental health. L'Andreas fas flush dans ton lit. Without giving him time to react, Shui taught him a lesson with her lips. This woman was actually using her drunken state to take advantage of him. "Woman, you're stealing my lines. Has my domineering CEO image crumbled overnight? No, I need to fight back." Lin Du grabbed Shui's arm and pushed her down. "Woman, you asked for this." As Lin Du's lips gradually approached Shui's, she suddenly covered her mouth with her hand. "Wait, I've been drinking. I need to rinse my mouth first." "Hey, woman, are you kidding me? The mood is perfect. You're trying to escape." Just then, Shui fell asleep. Lin Du sighed and covered her with a blanket. As he got up to leave, Shui suddenly grabbed his hand. Lin Du was a little pleased. It seemed he'd have a beautiful woman to warm his bed tonight, that you're the one who initiated this. A 30-year-old father sends his 3-year-old son to a deserted island for weight training without a second thought. The stepmother bravely ventures to the deserted island to save her stepson. That day, Shui tore apart her scumbag ex-fiancé, Go Jiao. Intending to hook up with Zue 12, she accidentally became his runway model. Exhausted, she returned home and suddenly remembered she hadn't seen Zhua Bao for days. Upon inquiring, she learned that Lin Du had sent Zhua Bao to military training. To be with Zhua Bao, Shui decided to negotiate with Lin Du. At that moment, Lin Du was happily playing in the pool. Chi Ma Tong, who was filming abroad, called via video. He angrily berated Lin Du for the blind date he'd set up. What is love? This best actor just wants to focus on his art. Why don't you take off your sunglasses first? As expected, the best actor was crying like a baby after his heartbreak. Lin Du, don't think you're so great just because you're in love. Love is precious, but freedom is more expensive. What is love anyway? Is it edible? My wife isn't anything special. Besides being beautiful, well-behaved, intelligent, and able to speak a bunch of random foreign languages. The shortcomings of a traditional woman. 3 obediences and 4 virtues. She has them all. Isn't it infuriating? And the biggest flaw? She's so soft to hold. GMO hides the real masterpiece. Being hit by 0 degrees Versailles-style attack is no small thing. Just then, footsteps could be heard in the distance. 0 degree instantly understood and threw a bathrobe to buy Qing Xiao. Your sister-in-law is coming. Get dressed quickly. 0 degree. Did you need something? This man's figure. Why is it so distracting? Shui blushed instantly. She couldn't even speak properly. Have you finished swimming? Seeing Shui actively approach him, 0 degree couldn't resist teasing her. Not yet. Why? Want to join me? Just as Shui was about to step forward and say yes, she slipped. 0 degree immediately caught her in his arms as she almost fell. Are you all right? I'm fine. It's just the water from your hair dripped into my eye. Let me go. The next second, 0 degree shook his hair like a puppy.mr. Lin, you're so childish. Shui, are you playing hard to get? Then, 0 degree pulled Shui down to sit with him. Rein in your ambition, lest you be both unskilled and in love with me. I don't have any ambition. I only have a heart that loves you. This woman is toxic. Tell me, what did you need me for? I want to go to Jinshi to accompany Zhua Bao. 0 degree raised an eyebrow. Woman, you're a bit brave. But you should know, Jinshi is not a fun place. Shui looked innocent. I heard it's a small house on Leeson Island, used as a training ground for Zhua Bao. Are there man-eating monsters on the island or something? 0 degree gave her a strange look. You guess. 0 degree, you're not that twisted, are you? Shui arrived at the shore opposite Leeson Island. The path to the island was a floating bridge without any railings. Even more terrifying, the lake was filled with crocodiles. 0 degree. You really are a pervert. You actually raise crocodiles around your son's training ground. Just then, the banished Cha Mei suddenly appeared. Madam Xiao, these crocodiles raised by 7th Master are all raised on live food, you know. You have to be careful. Oh dear, Madam Xiao keeps saying that the young master is your own son. Surely he can overcome this little bit of hardship, right? Cha Mei's mouth. Even Zhong Shu wanted to tear it apart. Shi Wei glared at her. You talk too much. At that moment, a little darling suddenly opened its sharp-toothed mouth at Shi Wei. Madam, be careful. Shi Wei simply lifted her foot. Their little darling was unceremoniously stepped on. The next second, she pulled out her dual pistols and aimed them at the little darling. This smooth series of actions made Cha Mei's jaw drop. Just as Shi Wei was about to finish off the little darling, Zhong Shu reminded her, the old madam is still ill and dislikes killing. Cha Mei, having finally recovered, started stirring trouble again, but that's right. Madam Xiao, you'd better obediently walk across the floating bridge. If killing harms the old madam's own virtue, I'm afraid you won't be able to bear the consequences. It's just a pity for the young master, having a mother like he doesn't. Just as Cha Mei was gloating, Shi Wei had disappeared. At the same time, the sound of a helicopter echoed from above. Shi Wei was already sitting in the helicopter, looking down. Shunmu, you talk too much. Why hasn't your CPU fried yet? Technology has advanced so much. Who still walks? Seems like your brain isn't working too well. Cha Mei's face turned green from being roasted. Shi Wei, how dare you take the helicopter exclusive to 7th Master and Madam? Shi Wei gave her a cool look, because I can fly it. So much talk. Why don't you eat some leaves to replenish yourself? Cha Mei had 1,000 words she wanted to yell, but Shi Wei was already far away. Just then, the little darling from before gave Cha Mei a benevolent smile. Perhaps it wanted to be friends. Cha Mei vehemently refused. The 3-year-old prodigy not only has to learn to shoot, but also to drive a tank. Zhuo Bao was overjoyed to see Shi Wei. Mommy, he whimpered with a cheek. Mommy, why did you take so long to see Zhuo Bao? Strangely, Shi Wei felt an inexplicable closeness to Zhuo Bao. They had only known each other for a few months, but she felt a mother-son connection. All right, don't cry. Let's go home. No, Master said I can only go back after I finish my lessons. Just then, the training room door closed automatically. Shi Wei thought, damn it, this place is hard to get into and hard to get out of. Shi Wei looked at the machine gun on the wall and protected Zhuo Bao. What models have you learned? Not many. Just the K-47, MG4, 416 Hong Kong dollars. Thompson M1928 techniques. Zhuo Bao rattled off more than 800 types. Techniques that KK couldn't even remember. Finally, his face lit up with excitement. Next month, Master will teach me how to drive a tank. Shi Wei looked incredulous. No wonder 0 Degree told me not to fall for it. This isn't raising a child. It's clearly cultivating a crazy war machine. Just then, Zhuo Bao's stomach rumbled. Zhuo Bao, haven't you eaten? The next second, Zhuo Bao showed off Master's specialty dish. Shi Wei was dumbfounded by the braised ribs. These aren't ribs, they're clearly charcoal briquettes. Oh my god, this is attempted murder. Just then, the legendary Chun Zhousheng, who bled on the 3rd battlefield in North Africa and risked his life for the underground army, arrived. But who is this scruffy uncle who looks nothing like the rumors? Raising women and villains is difficult. Most mothers have great intuition. You should discipline your wife. Old Chun, I want to talk to you about Zhuo Bao's training. Being a bad cook is one thing, but this is poisoning. Zhuo Bao is still growing. How can you feed him this dark cuisine? Doesn't your conscience bother you? Old Chen's heart was deeply affected, alarmed, but also finding her too beautiful. He was speechless and turned to leave. 10 minutes later, a man in a suit walked in. Hello, Mrs. Lin. Li Yuan, surnamed Chun, given name Zhousheng. Xiao, he was master. Shi Wei's jaw dropped. Who are you? Can I have the old Chun back? Here, Zhong Shu explains to everyone. Although you call him Old Chun, he's actually only 35 years old. He just doesn't like to dress up. 0 Degree, watching from the monitoring room, was getting restless and jealous. Bai Qing Xiao, however, had a sharp tongue. Brother, the color on top of your head looks quite vibrant. Go close the door. Bai Qing Xiao obediently closed the door. Brother, why close the door? 0 Degree cracked his knuckles. Have you been feeling stiff lately? Big brother will give you a massage. Sounds of brotherly love echoed from the room. Half an hour later, 0 Degree informed his assistant to prepare for their departure to Leeson Island. He said they were going on their honeymoon and to catch some crocodiles. He, 7th Master, you have quite the taste. The family of 3 squeezed into one bed. Zhuo Bao barely found a small corner, almost squeezed out by 0 Degree. Hurry up and sleep. Your mommy and I have important things to do. No, I want mommy to hold me while I sleep. Father and son bickered as usual. Suddenly, Shi Wei's phone rang. Hello? It was Xianyu, Zue 12 assistant, calling. He hinted that Shi Wei should bribe him for a job opportunity. Shi Wei knew that he was the one who framed Zue 12 in her past life, and she wouldn't indulge him. Don't worry, Xianyu. I'm not the type to buy my way in. I'll earn my spot. Seeing that Shi Wei didn't comply, Xianyu flew into a rage and berated her over the phone. Shi Wei could tolerate it, but 0 Degree couldn't. He grabbed the phone and gave Xianyu, the little shrew, a tongue lashing without using a single curse word. Zhuo Bao chimed in. How dare you bully my mommy? Zhuo Bao will ask Ultraman to destroy Xianyu on behalf of the moon. Unable to argue back, Xianyu hung up. This family is crazy. Shi Wei wanted to find out who was behind Xianyu, but knew she couldn't confront them directly yet. She had to be patient. So, she consulted with 0 Degree that will postpone the honeymoon. When I make money, I'll take you to Hawaii. Are you giving me empty promises again? 0 Degree was a little disappointed, but tried to maintain his composure. I have work tomorrow too. Then get busy. Shi Wei immediately realized 0 Degree was angry. She gently hooked her finger around his, whispering, "Seventh Master is angry." 0 Degree, seeing through her, pushed her hand away. Do I have a reason to be angry? Keep your paws to yourself. He was definitely angry. Shi Wei immediately gave him a big hug. Has anyone considered Zhuo Bao's feelings? This is the most ridiculously awesome dad I've ever seen. Forgetting his son's schemes, his son's birthday, those are minor things. Today, he picked his son up from school and then drove off without him. Here's how the story begins. At a restaurant, Shi Wei was celebrating Xiao Chun passing the idol training camp auditions. She planned to find him a top-notch agent. Her target, Jiang Bingbing, the ace agent from Zebra Pictures. However, in recent years, she had practically vanished from the entertainment industry. Recent rumors suggested she was in the middle of a messy divorce, fighting for custody of her daughter. Even more coincidentally, Jiang Bingbing's daughter is Zhuo Bao's classmate. So, Shi Wei wanted to use the opportunity of picking up Zhuo Bao from school to approach Jiang Bingbing. The next afternoon, Shi Wei went with 0 Degree to pick up Zhuo Bao. While chatting, they learned that Qi Matong had fallen in love at first sight with a girl who had performed a heroic act. Now he's frantically searching the world over for someone to marry. It seems Qi Yingbi is also a romantic. In order not to delay your junior sister, I suggest introducing him to another rich and handsome guy. Shi Wei agreed, but her junior sister is currently on a mission abroad. They'll talk about it when she returns. Shi Wei looked around, waiting for Jiang Bingbing to appear. Suddenly, 0 Degree inquired about her studio. Shi Wei excitedly shared her achievements. Her models were maintaining an active presence at various shows, and she was recently courting a famous international designer. 0 Degree asked, "Aren't you walking the runway yourself?" Shi Wei was shocked, and "Oh no, I'm not walking." After all, on the day of the big show, she would be tearing someone new one. How could she let 0 Degree see her in such a ferocious state? 0 Degree immediately sensed something unusual and secretly decided he had to go see it. Just then, the last child walked out of the kindergarten gate. It was Jiang Bingbing's daughter, Lian. 0 Degree and Shi Wei were dumbfounded. All the children were gone. Where's Zhuo Bao? Daddy? Mommy? Zhuo Bao was seen happily munching on skewers, standing behind them. Zhuo Bao has been standing behind you for 5 minutes. Come on, my dear daddy and mommy. Zhuo Bao will treat you to my favorite. Skewers, junk food, unhygienic, too expensive. The next second, the family of 3 was happily eating skewers. 7th Master, I must say you backpedal pretty quickly. Shi Wei saw right through Zhuo Bao's little scheme. He was clearly stalling for time, waiting for Lian's parents to pick her up. Zhuo Bao shyly turned his head. That I didn't. I'm a class monitor. I have a responsibility to my classmates. Then Zhuo Bao admits he has her in his heart. He deliberately announced, Lian's mom is here. Lian happily ran towards her mother. When the target appeared, Shi Wei had Lin Dusan take Zhuo Bao home. She was going to get acquainted with Lian's mommy and, by the way, invite Lian over to their house to play with Zhuo Bao. 0 Degree started teasing Zhuo Bao. See? Your mommy can't wait to marry you off. Daddy's the best. Get in the car. Daddy will personally take you to the amusement park. Zhuo Bao obediently threw his trash in the bin. While he was still worried about Lian, the car door slammed shut. See you, Dr. Xiao. 0 Degree drove off. Zhuo Bao cried his heart out. Daddy's heart is so big. Did you drink too much Wong Lo Cat? Meanwhile, Jiang Bingbing carried the sleeping Lian home. Just as she was about to open the door, she realized it was already open. Her scumbag husband bodyguard, Dashin, was standing there, leering at her. Dashin forced her to sign the divorce agreement and give up custody of her daughter. Jiang Bingbing refused. Seeing this, Dashin flew into a rage and attacked her. "You old hag, you won't drink a toast, so you'll have to drink a forfeit." Just as Jiang Bingbing was about to despair, Shi Wei appeared from behind Dashin and put a metal rod around his neck. "Big guy, what kind of man bullies a woman?" The next second, Shi Wei executed a beautiful over-the-shoulder throw. Dashin flew 3 meters. Sure. Wei walked up to him and warned, "If you don't want to end up without descendants, listen to me carefully. It doesn't matter who I am or who you are. Go back and tell your boss that Bing Bing is getting a divorce. She's keeping every penny that belongs to her. And the child, she's keeping her." Shi Wei helped Jiang Bingbing up. Finally, she told Dashin to tell Ma Xing to be careful when he goes out with his mistress. Karma's a bitch, and it's coming for him soon. Dashin tried to say something, but Shi Wei didn't give him a chance. She kicked him. "Get out." Dashin fled. Jiang Bingbing recognized Shi Wei as the Lin family's madam from the moment she appeared. "Thank you. But why did you help me?" Shi Wei explained that Zhuo Bao and Lian Lian are classmates. Then she hugged Jiang Bingbing and comforted her. "Don't be afraid. I've driven the bad guy away." At that moment, Jiang Bingbing couldn't hold back her tears any longer. They streamed down her face. "It's nothing. Just doing my part. Don't mention it." Over the next hour, Shi Wei revealed her true intentions. She wanted Jiang Bingbing to come out of retirement and become Xiao Chen's agent. Jiang Bingbing initially refused, saying she was too preoccupied with her own problems. But Shi Wei assured her that she would help her get a smooth divorce, obtain full custody of Lian Lian, and keep all of her assets. After careful consideration, Jiang Bingbing decided to trust Shi Wei and agreed. Once the divorce was finalized, she would become Xiao Chen's agent, as Shi Wei wished. A woman was watching porn. A man unexpectedly walked in on her. He immediately shot her dead. Shi Wei is the only one. In order to make Jiang Bingbing Xiao Chen's agent, she hacked Jiang Bingbing's husband, Ma Xian's phone. She discovered his shocking secret. The person he was cheating with wasn't just one pregnant mistress. There was a second mistress, and probably a third and fourth mistress as well. Just as she was eavesdropping, when the sounds got too stimulating, Shi Wei's ears received a bit of a shock. At that moment, 0 Degree suddenly pushed the door open. Shi Wei was so embarrassed she could dig a 3-bedroom apartment with her toes. "Seventh Master, welcome home. I'm watching a movie." Her excuse was so transparent. 0 Degree, with his all-knowing look, unplugged her headphones. "OMG. Where can I turn this off?" Shi Wei panicked. 0 Degree, embarrassed, slapped the power button, shutting it down. "So embarrassing. Seventh Master, if I said I was watching an art film, and somehow it turned into an action movie, would you believe me?" Hee. "Like hell I would. But I understand an adult's needs." "Seventh Master, are you mocking me? I'll give you a look. Interpret yourself." The next second, Shi Wei threw herself at 0 Degree. "Since it's already like this, if I have to make it up to you, I might as well do it with food. And if I have to do it with food, I might as well." 0 Degree patted Shi Wei's head like he was soothing a puppy. "Good girl. Is this pressure okay? What the heck? I want kisses, hugs, and to be lifted up." 0 Degree was dumbfounded. Am I a turtle in a wishing well? So many requests and expectations. "I don't care, you're mine tonight." Shi Wei pushed 0 Degree down, pinning him beneath her. "Seventh Master, I want to revise the treaty. From now on, 1 hug every day, 1 kiss every other day. If you don't agree, I'll pester you at night." 0 Degree looked helpless and innocent. "If you hadn't been drunk that night, we would have already." Shi Wei instantly understood. "S.O. Seventh Master, you do have feelings for me. Can't I have feelings for my wife? Especially when you're the one initiating this." At this point, Shi Wei, you're actually backing down? "I don't know what you're talking about." 0 Degree chuckled. "Why are you pretending to be so innocent?" Shi Wei pushed 0 Degree away. This playing hard to get, Shi Wei. "Just hold it in, Seventh Master. After all, if I'm too easy to get, what's the point of your life? Woman, you've gotten a little cocky lately." The next day, Shi Wei arrived early at the hotel where Ma Xian was having his affair. Watching the cheating couple on the screen, Shi Wei was about to explode. The next second, she dialed 110. Hello, officer. I'm reporting prostitution at the Hui Wang Hotel. She also leaked the information to the paparazzi. A two-pronged approach. Now my ex-IN couldn't escape. The police were very efficient. They arrived at the scene in no time, catching my ex-IN off guard. The paparazzi were also lucky. They had prepared various camera angles in advance, ensuring 360-degree coverage. Not only that, Shi Wei also quietly told the paparazzi that the woman with my ex-IN seemed to be pregnant. What a scandal. Infidelity leading to a mistress's pregnancy. This was certainly more explosive than prostitution. Unsurprisingly, my ex-IN's scandal dominated the headlines and trending topics. What followed was a series of accusations of my ex-IN's various violations and crimes. In the end, he went to jail. With my ex-IN's imprisonment, Zebra Pictures was plunged into a scandal. Jiang Bingbing was appointed to revive Zebra. The dignified Mrs. Lin was publicly humiliated, and her arrogant husband not only didn't intervene, but watched with relish. The fashion show ended. Zui Yaoer led the models for the closing walk. Suddenly, a guy with yellow hair appeared out of nowhere and accused Zui Yaoer of plagiarism, speaking eloquently. The onlookers, clueless, ate up the drama. Xianyu looked smug, her scheme successful. This plot was basically lifted straight from a discarded script. 0 Degree sat expressionless, waiting for the drama to unfold. At that moment, the yellow-haired guy suddenly lunged at Zui Yaoer. Plagiarizing bitch, prepare to die. Shivai shielded Tsuiyaya. 0 Degree looked worried. The next second, Shi Wei extended her 2-meter-long leg, and the yellow-haired guy instantly fell flat on his face. Shi Wei turned and glared fiercely at the yellow-haired guy. You say Zui Yaoer plagiarized? Show me the evidence. Zui Yaoer, standing beside her, thought, why is this girl even angrier than me? The yellow-haired guy immediately stood up. Facing the media and the public, he declared, my name is Alexander. I'm the ghostwriter for Zui Yaoer's clothing designs. He then dramatically threw out a stack of design drafts for the embroidered clothing. Zui Yaoer was still wondering how the yellow-haired guy got the drafts when Shi Wei spoke up first. She questioned him, since he had been bribed. Why was he now exposing Zui Yaoer? Alexander was really spinning a tale. He said Zui Yaoer cheated him out of 70% of his pay, resulting in his mother's death due to lack of timely medical treatment. Zui Yaoer, with a look of complete innocence, said, I don't know this person. He's slandering me. But Alexander was so tearful and convincing that the gullible crowd believed him. A man in blue stood up to denounce Zui Yaoer. When Zui Yaoer threw a water bottle, Shi Wei was the only one who caught it barehanded. Since you say these are all your designs, she said, then tell us about the design concept. Alexander stammered and stuttered, barely managing to utter the BLM design slogan. Shi Wei smirked, taunting, you claim to be the original creator, yet you can only recite the advertising slogan everyone knows. Then, Shi Wei eloquently delivered a 5,000-word essay explaining Zui Yaoer's design concept with amazing brilliance. Even Zui Yaoer was stunned. This girl knows me better than I know myself. I'm a woman. How can she be so passionate about another man? We're married, and I've never seen her this excited. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. The temperature seemed to drop 100 degrees. The stage was set. It was time for main player to enter. Yaoer, go get him. How about we each design 3 outfits based on the BLM design concept, and let the professionals here judge? Alexander gritted his teeth and agreed, though inwardly panicking. Xianyu was even more panicked in the audience. After all, he knew exactly what Alexander was capable of. Zhu En, unable to bear the farce any longer, ordered security to take Alexander away. L'un du chocolat.mr. Zhu, you have to trust your design director. Besides, live streaming this spectacle is sure to generate huge traffic. Exactly. Mr. Lin is right. Let Mr. Lin handle this. After 49 minutes, the two finished their designs. Zui Yaoer was still the same Zui Yaoer. Her designs never disappointing. But Alexander's monstrous creations were a complete embarrassment. At this point, 0 Degree knew Shi Wei had secured victory. Want another chance to struggle? Or should you just confess? You might get a reduced sentence. Alexander finally caved, revealing his accomplice, Xianyu. Zui Yaoer looked around for the traitor, but Xianyu had already vanished. There was no shortage of gossipers in the crowd. Some were even talking behind Shi Wei's back, saying she loved the limelight. You can stay silent in the corner, Shi Wei retorted, but don't slander and mock those who are more courageous than you. As for the look 0 Degree gave you, think about it yourselves. I'm very sorry. The matter is settled. Zui Yaoer thanked Shi Wei for her help. When she asked why Shi Wei had done it, Shi Wei blurted out without hesitation, I want you. Zui Yaoer was dumbfounded. Mid-conversation, Zui Yaoer was called away by the review committee for questioning. Jiaoer, remember to contact me after the investigation. Shi Wei, having accomplished another great feat, breathed a sigh of relief. Just then, a familiar voice rang out. Having fun? 0 Degree hadn't left. 0 Degree slowly walked up to her. Where's your jacket? Oh, sexy is no crime. It's cool and looks good in the summer. Why should 7th Master care whether I wear a jacket or not? 0 Degree thought. Asterisk, my woman is only for me to look at. What right do other men have? Asterisk, but he said aloud it's indecent. Please, 7th Master. The Qing dynasty is over. I'm wearing this to the banquet later. What? 0 Degree was instantly flustered. He took off his suit jacket and forcefully draped it over Shi Wei. 7th Master, your clothes don't match mine. Ignoring Shi Wei's struggles, 0 Degree, in a burst of possessiveness, hoisted her onto his shoulder. What are you doing? I booked a hotel. I think we need to have an in-depth discussion. Shi Wei blushed. That's not appropriate. So many people are watching. Who cares if they watch? I don't need anyone's permission to carry my own wife. No, I have my pride too. Don't move, or I'm not responsible if you fall. Suddenly, reporters swarmed them. Mrs. Lin, is this your first time at a fashion show? Mr. Lin, are you here to support your wife? 0 Degree instantly switched back to business mode and put Shi Wei down. Facing the media, Shi Wei gracefully replied, I'm honored to participate in this show. Then, 0 Degree leaned in close to Shi Wei's ear. We're sleeping together tonight. Wouldn't want to have separate dreams. Before Shi Wei could react, 0 Degree kissed her. Was this a public display of affection? The reporters died on the spot. Cause of death, stuffed by dog food. A woman wakes up to find herself the subject of online gossip, all because she stood up for what was right. Shi Wei woke up from a sweet dream, drooling. 0 Degree looked at her, puzzled. Z's woman, you can still sleep like a log after causing trouble. I am speechless. Speaking of that sissy, why are you so upset? That's not sissy, that's personality. Besides, he's my cash cow. I see you followed him on Weibo. I thought it was Wei, she said, surprised. 7th Master doesn't even give you this little bit of privacy? You were secretly looking at my Weibo. 0 Degree glanced back at her. Why don't you take a look at what you married? A tigress. 0 Degree's wife in bed. Well, I can explain that a little. In 7th Master's harem, everyone's got a cute nickname, like Duji's little wife. My husband is a master of nicknames. So, as the official wife, how could I be left out? Okay, your speech is over. You're in big trouble. 0 Degree casually tossed her phone to Shi Wei. Xianyu, that little bitch, posted on Weibo accusing Zui Yaoer of murder. She even released a recording of questionable authenticity. And there are thousands of Water Army trolls supporting her. While reporting Zui Yaoer to the police, she's also targeting me. Shi Wei remained calm, finishing the haters' long-winded comments. She said, this level of hate is still bearable. 0 Degree didn't know whether to call her magnanimous or cowardly. The next second, the sound of furious typing filled the air. Just because I can tolerate it doesn't mean I'm going to let people insult me. Who hasn't practiced their insults? Let Big Sister teach you how it's done. Too bad. I didn't use any curse words. The haters weren't satisfied after their initial barrage. Thought, I'm married a keyboard warrior. What did you expect? Shi Wei immediately added another Weibo post and blocked all the haters. Shi Wei was on a rampage. That felt so good. The trolls are easy to deal with. But now Xianyu is accusing Zui Yaoer of murder. What's your next move? Shi Wei had already planned it out. I'm going to post the audio of Xianyu bribing me online. No one will believe the original design was flawed. Anyway, Zui Yaoer has already gone to the police. I'll just wait for the truth to come out. 0 Degree was puzzled by Shi Wei's blind trust in Zui Yaoer. Shi Wei immediately gave him starry eyes. That's a woman's intuition. 0 Degree finally understood his wife's unusual taste. Just then, Zui Yaoer messaged Shi Wei, asking to meet at a bar. Shi Wei got ready to go out. Before leaving, She pinched 0 Degree's face. Although 0 Degree acted indifferent, he was secretly working to get justice for his wife. He had already arranged for Xiaoli to eavesdrop on Zhao Handong and Xian Yu, the masterminds behind the plagiarism scandal. Soon, Shi Wei arrived at the bar. She confessed that she helped Zui Yaoer because she hoped Zui Yaoer could become Xiao Chen's exclusive stylist. Zui Yaoer was instantly relieved. She thought Shi Wei was hitting on her. That would be so awkward. Ha. My husband and I are very much in love. I'm not looking for a mistress. A whole load of dog food rained down. After a conversation, Shi Wei assured Zui Yaoer that she would help clear her name. Zui Yaoer was deeply moved. The whole world thinks I'm a liar, but Madame Lin still believes in me. I will definitely repay you. I sincerely want to be friends with you. Don't worship me too much, and don't try to repay me. That way, you'll never be at peace. Midnight at an apartment. Xian Yu, after committing her misdeeds, hid in a corner of her home, trembling. She called Zhao Handong for help, but Zhao Handong brushed her off and hung up. Just then, the door opened. Xian Yu was terrified and curled up into a ball. Miss Xian Yu. Xiaoli walked in, dragging a man behind her. Good evening. Looks like this guy wanted to steal your kidneys. The man had taken the woman to Qing Zhong's birthday party. He specifically picked out the ugliest dress for her. However, the woman was very satisfied with the dress. This one has too high a slit, and this one, the top, is too revealing. This is my last one. Is this one okay? Why is there a piece missing in the front? Is the price halved? All 3 of Shi Wei's dresses were rejected by 0 Degree. Finally, he chose a dress that covered her completely. This one was truly awful, but Shi Wei still praised 0 Degree. When it comes to taste, it has to be 7th Master. Even Zhuo Bao, who was holding her skirt train, was full of resentment. 3 Red Bulls were handed to Zhuo Bao. Go get some snacks. Zhuo Bao immediately brightened up. Finally, he didn't have to endure his parents' public displays of affection. In the living room, Yuan Zhong, by Qing Xiao, and Qing Zhong were exchanging dating tips. 0 Degree couldn't help but laugh. Someone who gets dumped constantly is giving advice to a lifelong single. And one dares to teach, the other dares to listen. 0 Degree sat down smugly. Why does this Sichuan uncle's birthday party feel like a wedding? That girl has been found. What marriage? I haven't even found a person. When Bai Qing Xiao suddenly showed concern for Shi Wei's studio and Xiao Chun, 0 Degree sensed something unusual. He stared intently at Bai Qing Xiao. Just then, Shi Wei noticed the waiter not far away. It turned out to be her senior sister. The next second, she found an excuse to leave. Seeing her get up, 0 Degree looked up, his eyes hinting, "You dare take off that cloak and you're dead." Ha, this jealous guy. I'm really speechless. Bai Qing Xiao seemed to have discovered something, smiling slyly. So, brother, you chose sister-in-law's dress? 0 Degree's face darkened. What? Got a problem with it? Bai Qing Xiao immediately backed down and oh no, not at all. Recently, the top-ranked deep-sea assassin organization on the dark web issued a high-priced bounty for the leader of the Night Dove, Z. Also, Loasafin and Kiss have started causing trouble again. They've actually gotten involved in human trafficking. Shi Wei scoffed. Scumbags. The more they earn without a bottom line, the faster they'll die. 6 o'clock direction. Go Fei and Go Sway Sway were seen. I wonder what trouble they're up to now. Come on, let's go tear them apart, no matter what they're doing. A group of people deliberately taunted Jiandan. Unable to bear it, Jiandan wanted to go out for some air. Shi Wei appeared, pulled Jiandan aside, and looked at the group. Mind if I join you for dinner? She said, pulling Jiandan to sit down and urging her to stay calm. Let's watch a good show first. Shi Wei recalled her past life. She had received Jiandan's kindness during her time as an extra. She wanted to help Jiandan in this life to repay her kindness. Also, because Jiang Bingbing had said that Jiandan was a talented actress, she wanted to help Jiang Bingbing recruit her. But Jiandan wasn't famous yet. When her senior sister went on stage to receive the red wine, she stealthily switched Go Fei's necklace. Go Fei's affected, high-pitched voice rang out. Hey, my good bestie, are you looking for me? Shi Wei didn't give her any face. Oh, we know each other? You must have bad eyesight if you think I'd be your bestie. A red-haired woman on the first floor snorted with laughter. Fei, that was so embarrassing. Shi Wei's senior sister picked up the dropped bag and returned it to Jiandan. Seeing this, Shi Wei knew her senior sister had succeeded. Fu Xiaochun suddenly walked up to Shi Wei, trying to build a connection, and pretended to greet Xiao Chun. This led everyone present to misunderstand that she and Xiao Chun were a couple, praising them as a perfect match. No, no, Xiao Chun and I are just friends. How could I be worthy of Madame Lin's brother? Unable to stand Fu Xiaochun's fawning, Shi Wei decided to put an end to her wishful thinking. Silly girl, don't say that. After all, in friendships, there's no distinction of high or low status. It's not like we're dating. Fu Xiaochun glared at Shi Wei and continued her attack. Xiaochun, I hope you can advise Xiao Chun about those girls around him who are clearly overestimating themselves. They all act like they're so close to him. It must be tiring for him, especially since he needs to focus on his career right now. Everyone present understood the underlying meaning of Shi Wei's earnest advice. They couldn't help but laugh that she's really good at writing, directing, and acting in her own little play. But her face was about to be slapped hard. Unwilling to give up, Fu Xiaochun gave Go Fei a look. This was her main event. The next second, she started wiping tears from the corners of her eyes, acting, everyone, I'm so sorry, I have to leave. Every few steps, she would let out a scream, that my necklace is gone. Go Fei immediately stood up to assist her performance. Oh no, that's a limited edition Tiffany necklace. It's worth over 50,000. Look carefully for it. Shi Wei saw through their poor acting. She silently watched the two of them feign innocence and seek sympathy. Go Fei suddenly walked up to Jian Dan and demanded to search her bag. He didn't forget to mock her, wearing nothing but cheap knockoffs worth less than 300. He was clearly implying that he suspected her of stealing the necklace. In the entertainment industry, where appearances are everything, Jian Dan was in a difficult position. Fu Xiaochun's feigned helplessness and Go Fei's aggressiveness. Almost everyone present was convinced that Jian Dan had stolen the necklace. Just then, Shi Wei stood up. An upright person is not afraid of their shadow being crooked. Search her. Shi Wei told Jian Dan to let them search her bag. Go Fei excitedly rushed forward. Then allow me to search on Xiaochun's behalf. As the contents of the bag spilled out, there was no Tiffany necklace. Instead, a dazzling blue diamond caught everyone's eye. Those who knew their jewelry immediately recognized it as this year's top-selling Hope diamond, worth over 8 million. Jian Dan saw through it at a glance. Shi Wei was the only one who had sincerely helped her. Go Fei, knowing her scheme had failed, flew into a rage and yelled at Jian Dan. How could a commoner like you afford haute couture? This necklace must be fake. Coincidentally, all this commotion attracted the attention of Qian Yitzi, the editor-in-chief of the fashion magazine. He was also an internationally renowned jewelry appraiser. He picked up the blue diamond necklace and took a look. It was real, a harsh slap in the face to Go Fei. Shi Wei clapped her hands repeatedly. What a good show. Truly spectacular. Go Fei, you won't dare lie anymore after this. Fu Xiaochun's sepure image instantly crumbled. She had originally agreed to team up with Go Fei to teach Jian Dan a lesson, hoping to get on Go Fei's good side. She never expected things to turn out this way. To salvage the last shred of her dignity, she bowed her head and apologized to Jian Dan, shifting all the blame onto Go Fei. Fu Xiaochun's unexpected betrayal left Go Fei dumbfounded. The two then started bickering. This dogfight was also quite a spectacle, but Shi Wei had no time to watch. She had her next plan to execute. Beautiful. Would you like a drink? The couple, married for 188 days, finally got their car on a highway. A few days ago, Shi Wei had cleverly seen through Go Fei's and Fu Xiaochun's scheme, gaining a future movie queen as a best friend. Soon after, the scoundrel Zhao Handong was also taken away by the police. The plagiarism scandal finally came to an end. Shi Wei guessed that 0 Degree must have been behind the scenes pulling strings. That evening, Shi Wei made 0 Degree sit down and gave him a massage. Regarding Zhao Handong, you were the one pushing things behind the scenes, weren't you? That's right, you guessed it. But no need for gratitude or apologies. The proud 0 Degree, despite acting on his wife's behalf, remained stubborn that I just didn't like him. Don't overthink it. Shi Wei stopped what she was doing and suddenly hugged 0 Degree's neck from behind. 0 Degree. I'm sorry, ever since we got married, I haven't been much help. It's always been you silently arranging everything. Shi Wei was filled with gratitude and heartache for this silently devoted man. 0 Degree reached out and caressed Shi Wei's face, comforting her. Actually, you've helped me a lot too. Everyone can see that. Saying this, 0 Degree laid down on Shi Wei's lap. Today, 0 Degree was like a docile cat. Shi Wei had never seen him so peaceful. Suddenly, 0 Degree raised his hand to cover his eyes. He seemed to have recalled some unpleasant memory. When I was 9, I had a strange illness. Although my mother told me it was just ordinary narcolepsy, I didn't think so, because every time I woke up, a part of my memory would be missing. Even more bizarre, every time I woke up, the servants would have new, obvious injuries on their faces, and they would look at me with extreme fear. When I was 18, I even slept for 3 years. Fortunately, I've recovered since then, but I always feel like I've lost a precious treasure, but I can't find it. During this period of illness, I endured the torment of the disease. I didn't even have friends, lovers, or anything to rely on. Gradually, I became indifferent to everything. Until I met you, Wei. I regained my ability to feel. In my interactions with you, my body and mind are changing. But instinct tells me that what lies ahead is either salvation or hell. So I kept hesitating in our relationship, unsure whether to move forward. Then 0 Degree sat up. He told Wei, my love for you is shallow. But even shallow love is still love. I know this love is a bit twisted, a bit abnormal. Seeing 0 Degree open his heart, Wei was very relieved. She cupped his face. It's okay. I'll conquer the twistedness with my sincerity. With unwavering determination, Wei declared, I'll conquer the abnormality with my love. Tonight's promise will be proven with the rest of my life. Faced with Wei's sudden confession, 0 Degree's heart fluttered. The next second, he kissed her without hesitation. Everything was as intense as a sudden storm that Lixn told me he wasn't a suitable partner. I could even choose to leave him or break up, but unfortunately, reason can't kill my feelings for him. Even though I haven't verified his identity, even though I shouldn't, I can't lie to myself. No matter how much I try to protect myself, I still fell for him. I can't help but want to be close to him. It feels like something is melting in my heart. The next morning, Wei stared at 0 Degree's sleeping face. She couldn't believe they were truly husband and wife now. The pink bubble from last night's scenes flashed before her eyes. Oh my, so embarrassing. Suddenly, a large hand pulled her close. The next second, he was pushed onto the bed. Lingdu looked at him affectionately. Awake so early? He took his slender hand and kissed it gently. A moment later, the only poop-fixing super pillow was thrown at Ling. Do relive my foot. Just then, Wei's phone rang. But this early in the morning, who is it? Such a mood killer. Wei, intending to investigate the truth behind her mother's death without her CEO husband knowing, was in the midst of a sweet moment with Ling Du when a text message interrupted. The sender was Yuwu, her mother's good friend. After her mother's death, all those years ago, Yuwu had disappeared. Now, she suddenly initiated contact. As the two arranged to meet, Wei pictured her mother, Xiao Moli. Yuwu was remorseful and repentant. She said, I'm sorry, Xiao Moli. I was sent out of town on business. By the time I returned, Xiao Moli had already passed away. What's even stranger is, when I asked to see Xiao Moli's medical records, I was fired. Hearing this, Wei was overwhelmed with emotion. She also wanted to know where Yuwu had gone. Yuwu explained that after the incident, she and her husband, colleagues at the time, lost their jobs. No one dared to hire them, and they even received death threats. So they had to leave the capital. Looking at the haggard woman before her, it was hard to imagine she was the same fashionable Yuwu from years ago. Wei felt a pang of sympathy. Yuwu explained that by chance, she learned Wei was now the mistress of the neighboring household. Knowing the time was right, she had to tell Wei everything she knew, even if it meant her death. Hearing Yuwu use such serious words as, even if it means my death, Wei guessed there must be a hidden secret. Yuwu told Wei that her mother's death was not an accident, and it wasn't diagnosed late. With treatment, the recovery rate was quite high. Wei recalled that this was indeed the case. Her mother, the doctor herself, wasn't overly worried when she learned of her illness. She comforted us, saying that after she recovered, the whole family would go on vacation. It was a pity that not long after, her condition worsened beyond control, and she ultimately passed away, leaving Wei behind. I couldn't investigate the truth back then, but with my professional knowledge, I could sense something was wrong. She then handed Wei her phone. On the screen were 2 X-ray images. Wei's eyes widened. This is a human liver. Yes, this is your mother's liver. One part is completely necrotic. And guess how long it took for the changes between these 2 images to occur? Wei guessed 2 months? A month and a half? A week? No, not even a day. This shocking news made Wei's mind reel. She could barely stand. Even ordinary people know this kind of change can't happen in a day. So, Wei, I'm certain someone did something to your mother's body, like a viral experiment. Sure Wei thought it was indeed possible, but the images Uncle Yang, Mom's doctor, showed us weren't like this. We investigated him, and everything seemed normal. And he emigrated 2 years ago, died of a heart attack last year. Old Yang, he fooled us all, but he was threatened. He called me the day before he died. His voice was hushed. He said he didn't have time to atone, that he wanted to apologize to me and to Molly. Then the call was cut off. I felt something was wrong, so when I returned to the capital to visit relatives, I went to old Yang's old house. I found a cut-up x-ray at the bottom of a flower pot. It was your mother's liver. Molly's liver. It was like it was taken out, experimented on with a virus, and then put back in. Learning that her mother's death was a cover-up, Sure Wei vowed to uncover the truth and expose the person behind it. She thanked Yu for telling her the truth after so many years. Sure Wei had Shaoli investigate the key people involved in the case back then. They discovered the hospital director had also disappeared, and before his disappearance, he attended a religious gathering seemingly related to the Creation Society. Sure Wei had heard of this organization. The Creation Society was a religious organization advocating a new world order, focused on education and secrecy. They liked to recruit within the fashion and entertainment industries, using quid pro quo to network with the powerful and manipulate the finance, politics, military, and entertainment of major world powers. Her mother's death was connected to the Creation Society, but the Creation Society is extremely cautious. It's impossible to find their specific operations in China. We have to make them come to us. So we must make a big splash in the fashion and entertainment circles to attract the priest's attention. At the same time, Sure Wei reminded Xiao Li not to tell Ling Du this was too dangerous, and she didn't want Ling Du or the Lin family involved. Sure Wei felt sorry for Ling Du, who had lost his father at a young age. From propping up the Lin family to its current peak, he had suffered enough. She didn't want him to be implicated because of her. She would bear the burden of her own matters. A commoner has a commoner's ways. Moreover, when the time was right, she would tell Ling Du everything. Xiao Li looked at Sure Wei with a hint of worry. Madam, do you want to seek justice for Madam Molly or expose the entire industry's dirty secrets? Since you're doing this, you might as well take the whole thing down. He added, we can only hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and try our best. Xiao Li's face was full of admiration. Holding Sure Wei's hand, he pleaded with her to take him along so that she wouldn't have to walk this dangerous path alone. Thankful, Sure Wei was gratified to encounter so many kind people. It strengthened her resolve to seek justice for her mother. The CEO, with a doodle, not only captured a woman's heart, but almost made his rival fall for him. At Zero Studio, Sure Wei was racking her brains designing the studio's logo when a handsome man suddenly appeared. Sure Wei's eyes nearly popped out. The cross-dressing Zue Yaoer. What had gotten into him today? He was actually wearing men's clothing. Sure Wei exclaimed, Brother Zue, I didn't expect you to look so handsome in men's clothes. Zue Yaoer, quick to catch on, replied, I am a man, and I've always been handsome. However, Sure Wei was puzzled. What was Zue Yaoer up to, switching back to men's clothing? Zue Yaoer explained that he wanted a fresh start, and naturally, a new look. Also, don't call me Sister Yaoer anymore. Call me Yao Yaozi. Yao Yaozi sounds just as effeminate. It turned out Zue Yaoer's real name was Xiao Jinan. Brother Xiao, it's a pleasure to meet you. From now on, we'll be creative partners, like true siblings. Sure Wei extended her hand. Looking at the enthusiastic Sure Wei, Zue Yaoer blushed. Just as their hands clasped, Ling Du walked in. Wei, I've brought Zhuo Bao and Lian Lian home. Let's have dinner together. He then saw his wife holding hands with a strange man. How awkward. Sure Wei immediately rushed to Ling Du's side, smiling. Darling, you're here. Zue Yaoer thought that was close. I almost got caught. Someone was already smitten. Ling Du glared at Zue Yaoer. With a man's sharp intuition, he felt something was off about this Zue Yaoer. The next second, he declared his ownership, pulling Sure Wei tightly into his arms. Zue Yaoer turned away nervously. Seeing Ling Du staring intently, without blinking, Sure Wei cupped Ling Du's face, guiding his gaze back to herself. Brother Xiao is beautiful, but you shouldn't stare at him like that. Her tone sounded slightly sour. Ling Du admired Sure Wei's unique way of thinking. He then tried to take Sure Wei home. However, Sure Wei insisted on staying to design the logo with Brother Xiao. What logo requires so much effort? Sure Wei scratched her head, admitting that fashion design wasn't her forte and she hadn't found any inspiration. The professional, Zue Yaoer, stepped in to offer expert advice, speaking eloquently, instantly becoming a little fangirl. In reality, Zue Yaoer was already showing off his skills. Ling Du couldn't let his rival steal the spotlight. "Give me a pen." It seemed a great battle was about to begin. With a flourish, Ling Du's hand moved with effortless grace. 2 minutes later, a concise creation was born that, oh my god, it's truly dazzling. Shi Wei was stunned by Ling Du's talent. This is too amazing. Ling Du must be a hidden calligraphy master. Every stroke and every line was meticulously crafted, showcasing his personality. He was truly as handsome and charismatic as his handwriting. The most amazing thing was that the 4 letters, seemingly randomly placed, created a 3-dimensional effect. "This logo makes me feel like a woman sensually dressing, while a man kneels, captivated." Oh, this letter, with its seemingly unintentional distorted strokes, is like a cage surrounding the woman. Zue Yaoer showered Ling Du with praise, almost falling for him. Mr. Lin, have you studied design professionally? Hearing no answer, Zue Yaoer was dumbfounded. This man had written this word so beautifully in just 2 minutes. Ling Du smiled smugly. Zue Yaoer, a veteran of 10 years in the fashion industry, felt defeated for the first time. Shi Wei then showed Zue Yaoer the latest work plan. She told him that there would be a large-scale design competition in 2 months. This competition was invested in by Ghazni. Hearing Ghazni, Zue Yaoer couldn't contain his excitement. With trembling hands, he took the document, guaranteeing a victory and securing the opportunity to collaborate with the fantasy 3D animation Stormy Romance. This was thanks to 7th Master for getting the inside scoop. Zue Yaoer bowed respectfully to Ling Du, even praising them as the most perfect couple in the universe. Exactly. Other suitors wouldn't stand a chance. There's something behind those words. Zue Yaoer was slightly hurt, almost coughing up blood. Ling Du, ignoring everyone else, picked up Shi Wei and left. "Let's go home, wife, and give Zhuobao a little sister." Before leaving, Shi Wei reminded Zue Yaoer to lock the door. Ling Du felt they were talking too much, so he domineeringly shut Shi Wei up with a kiss. What did Zue Yaoer do wrong? After being dealt a critical hit by Ling Du, he's now force-fed dog food. Oh heavens, oh earth. I need to encase my heart in cement, renounce love, and focus on my career. That vicious woman tried to play girls against each other and ended up playing herself. Help! That fish's taste isn't declining. It's falling off a cliff. The trainee's face and figure look like they've eaten their fill, but judging by their dance moves, they seem hungry. The trainee looks even more in need of a man than I am. Shi Wei was speechless when the trainee's looks proved utterly underwhelming. But Jiang Bingbing said, "These odd-looking ones are popular with middle-aged women. They dote on them like sons." With the mom fans and grandma fans, surgery is the only option. Looking back at Xiao Chun, needless to say, there's a feeling of effortless victory. So, Jiang Bingbing also expressed confidence in making Xiao Chun famous. At this moment, another familiar face appeared. Isn't that Wang Chaoyong, the school bully from Xiao Chen's school? Why does he look like he's had plastic surgery? Jiang Bingbing explained, he's been packaged by Shi Finjia into a cool, abstinent type. This kind of persona is very popular now. Shi Wei couldn't help but sigh. He's completely different from the country bumpkin she met before. Jiang Bingbing found out that Shi Finjia is dating real estate tycoon Kuan Nanfeng. That familiar name, isn't that Ling Du's unlucky buddy? Kuan Xiao, who was single the last time they met, moves fast. Just then, a cheerful voice rang out. "Sister Bing." Shi Finjia rushed over with mincing steps. "I can't believe it, Sister Bing. You're really prosperous." The moment Shi Wei turned around, she met Shi Finjia's eyes. Enemies meet and sparks fly. Oh, so little sister came to watch Xiao Chen rehearse. Well, she's asking for it. Sister, your dark circles are almost hitting the floor. Were you affected by Zhao Handong? Investments need caution. Different industries are like different mountains. Sister, just manage Finfong Entertainment well. Be careful not to capsize in the gutter. Investments have gains and losses. How would a gold digger like you, who relies on men, understand? The two sisters were full of animosity, but clearly, Shi Wei had the upper hand. Shi Fenjiao was grinding her teeth, so hard her jaw almost shattered. But Shi Fenjiao immediately changed her face to get down to business, having her assistant hand a lavish gift to Jiang Bingbing. Jiang Bingbing looked it over, but didn't accept it, politely asking President Shi, "Is there something you need?" Sister Bing, we're both veterans in this industry, different from those newbies. This was clearly aimed at Shi Wei. Then, without hesitation, she made her pitch in front of Shi Wei. "I'm formally inviting you to join our company." Whoa, is this woman out of her mind? Was she playing at? She pulled out a huge check, confidently stating, "I'm already in talks with superstar Shen Tianyan. With you, we'll be even stronger." Shi Wei couldn't believe it. How could Tianyan Ji collaborate with Shi Fenjia? Just then, Jiang Bingbing smiled and rejected Shi Fenjia, saying she already had a new company. Shi Fenjia wouldn't give up. "Ripping up the check is fine. You're welcome anytime. Name your price." This time, Jiang Bingbing firmly refused. "President Shi, your offer is generous, but my mind is made up. Please look elsewhere." Shi Wei had seen through Shi Fenjia's act. She was trying to drive a wedge between her and Jiang Bingbing. She wouldn't let her succeed. So, she stepped forward and linked arms with Jiang Bingbing. "Sister Bing, bring Lian to my place for a barbecue this weekend." She deliberately raised her voice as they walked away. The two kids get along so well. "We might even become in-laws in the future." Shi Fenjia was dumbfounded. She hadn't expected this connection between them. She had truly played the clown in the end. Shi Wei gave her a condescending look. "Even if you've mastered the art of war, you can't overcome trust." Shi Fenjia watched them leave happily, left fuming in her spot. That evening, Shi Wei told Ling Du about Kuan Nanfeng's girlfriend, Shi Fenjia. But Ling Du wasn't surprised at all. It was like he already knew. It turned out that day, both Chang Tian and Kuan Nanfeng were pretending to be innocent. Shi Wei was the only one who was still foolish enough to believe it. She was furious at being tricked. Ling Du, however, said he was just giving his brother face. From Ling Du, Shi Wei learned that Chang Tian was a playboy and that Nanfeng and Jiandan were already engaged. They'd even broken up and gotten back together 3 times. It was too much information to process. Shi Wei couldn't accept the city's devious ways. "Then I want to go back to the countryside." Looking at his wife's innocent and adorable appearance, Ling Du felt both anger and heartache. "Luckily, you married me. Otherwise, you would have been sold by those jerks and still be helping them count their money." He brought up Shi Wei's dark past again. Back then, she was tricked by Shi Fenjia and Go Ju. Her fiancé was stolen by Ji Jia. "Yeah, if I could have married you earlier, that jerk wouldn't have had a chance." The more Ling Du thought about it, the angrier he became. The thought of destroying Go Ju was almost unbearable. Shi Wei silently prayed for the scumbag. Amen. Just then, a large hand grabbed Shi Wei. "If you had met me first, would you still have liked Go Ju?" Of course not. How could someone who's been guarded by a wolf fall in love with a dog? Faced with his wife's sudden confession, a blush crept on Ling Du's face. "Not bad. Leaving everything else aside, you have excellent taste." Shi Wei thought, isn't he just indirectly praising himself again? A simple sweet nothing was enough to make Ling Du restless. Shi Wei could tell he was holding back. So, she took the initiative. "Ling Du, should we tonight?" This 30-year-old father was just a fool who couldn't use disposable chopsticks. Defeating a rival in love, such a high IQ task, still needed to rely on their 3-year-old son. "Ling Du, should we tonight?" Shi Wei was playing with fire. Before she finished speaking, Shi Wei was pounced on by Ling Du, this big wolf dog. Mrs. Lin, it's time to fulfill your wifely duties. What position do you like? Shi Wei was so flustered by Ling Du's direct questioning that she couldn't speak clearly. Let me straighten out your tongue before you speak. The two quickly got into the car. The speed gradually increased. Just then, the phone rang incessantly. Ling Du glared at the landline. Which damn person is calling at a time like this? He then reluctantly answered the phone. "This is Shen Tianyan. I'm back early. Can we reschedule the dinner we planned for tomorrow night?" The arrogant Ling Du reluctantly agreed. "Then let's change the location to..." Before he could finish, Ling Du angrily hung up the phone. Shi Wei was curious. Why so angry? Who was it? Ling Du's face darkened. "I'll tell you later. It was that neighbor brother. You shouldn't call at this hour, interrupting our married life." Shi Wei was dumbfounded that I didn't offend him. and he was just being polite about the dinner. You were the one who insisted on setting the time. He's eyeing my woman, so I have to assert my dominance. Seeing Ling Du so angry, Shi Wei felt a little happy. Ling Du, are you jealous? Playing tough was a typical CEO move. Haha, isn't he just your neighbor? What's there to be angry about? This woman was too slow. It was obvious that Shun Tianyun had a crush on her. The next second, Shi Wei cupped Ling Du's face. Since you're not angry, then let's continue. Unexpectedly, Ling Du rolled over and went to sleep. After all, a rival in love had shown up at the door. He had to find a way to get rid of him immediately. He was already thinking about booking a top-notch underwater restaurant to make this neighbor brother dizzy. The next evening, however, the three of them met at a snack street. At the barbecue stall, Ling Du was utterly speechless. He had planned for a top-tier restaurant to impress this guy. How did it end up like this? The barbecue in front of him was sizzling, and this guy was constantly flirting with his wife, even calling her Little Tomato. This barbecue stall was also a place they used to frequent. Mr. Lin, you hung up on me last night before I finished. You don't mind the change of venue, do you? To save face, Ling Du forced a smile. Anywhere is fine with Mrs. Pei. He thought, it's you country bumpkin, who can't appreciate fine dining. Shun Tianyun's eyes widened, as if he had discovered some rare Pokemon. So, you two eat with 2 pairs of chopsticks now. How awkward. The CEO, using disposable chopsticks for the first time, actually needed Shi Wei's help. She laughed awkwardly and quickly helped Ling Du break apart his chopsticks. Tianyun was clearly enjoying the show, but the CEO would never admit he didn't know how to use disposable chopsticks, that we neighbors have always been unique. Watching the interaction between his rival and his wife, Ling Du sat there feeling secretly hurt. He then sent a message to Zhuo Bao. On the other side, Zhuo Bao had already formed a united front with his daddy. Zhuo Bao soon arrived, walking with adorable, happy steps. The food is served. Guess what's inside this little pancake? It's my love for you, unwavering. Oh my god, Zhuo Bao's cheesy lines are so intoxicating. Baby, why are you here too? This is your stepson. Shi Wei introduced Shun Tianyun. Baby, this is mommy's friend. Hello, Uncle Tianyun. Hello, little guy. Uncle, my mommy and daddy are very happy. This seemingly harmless sentence brought the atmosphere to a freezing point. This little kid is a bit precocious. Ling Du was secretly delighted. Good job, my boy. You got one back for me. Ling Du pressed his advantage, quickly taking out wedding candies to share with Shun Tianyun. Mr. Shun, you weren't able to attend our wedding. I hope these candies can allow you to experience our happiness. The moment the lid opened, Shun Tianyun was dumbfounded. This was a blatant provocation. He gave an awkward laugh and declined. Thank you, I don't eat sweets. It felt like he had a lump in his throat, difficult to swallow. Does it taste bland? Shun Tianyun said sarcastically, oh, my sensitive teeth can't handle sweets. I rarely experience the joy of sugar, but whenever someone asks me if I want candy, I always respond with a smile and say more please, because just thinking about every moment spent with E fills my heart with 10,000 cotton candies. What's wrong, 7th Master? Just because E has a husband, does that mean she can't interact with male friends? So dramatic. Ling Du was furious. He wanted to punch him into space, but he suppressed his inner rage. Then he turned to Shi Wei. Wei, this is your fault. Thinking of you is like 10,000 cotton candies. How much insulin would that require? The risk of diabetes is extremely high. Moreover, diabetics aren't good in that department. Cotton candy looks big, but it's actually small and insubstantial. More importantly, 10,000 cotton candies added together aren't worth much. Every word from Ling Du was like a knife stabbing into Shun Tianyun's heart. A 3-year-old boy wore $10 million contact lenses just to make his eyes look prettier. However, there was a hidden secret behind the contact lenses. 7th Master, eat your vegetables. The bright green vegetables annoyed Ling Du just by looking at them. Shi Wei helped smooth things over. Brother Tianyun, stop teasing my husband. I heard you signed with 10 companies. Shun Tianyun looked thoughtfully at Shi Wei. It seems she hadn't recovered her memory. He explained, the new owner of Finfang Entertainment, the CEO of Wanchuang City Group, has some connections with my family. I want to go to other companies, but they wouldn't allow it. Why don't you transfer me over? Shi Wei quickly refused. No. My small temple can't accommodate a great Buddha like you. Seeing his wife chatting happily with her admirer, Ling Du's jealousy surged. He started acting up, fanning smoke towards Shun Tianyun. A worldly man probably only has the IQ of a 3-year-old. Sorry, my hand slipped. Then, the two, with a combined IQ of 6, continued to cause trouble. Thick smoke filled the room, making Zhuo Bao rub his eyes. Seeing this, Shi Wei got angry. She started cracking her knuckles. "You two idiots, stop it." After a good beating, the two calmed down. But Zhuo Bao's eyes started hurting. As Shi Wei was about to check, something fell out of Zhuo Bao's eye. Oh my god, it's a contact lens. A 3-year-old wearing contact lenses. Even more surprising, Zhuo Bao's eye color was the same as Shi Wei's. It was the first time she saw Zhuo Bao's real eyes. She was stunned. Shen Tianyin also looked at Zhuo Bao with surprise. This child's eye color is exactly the same as that child back then. Seeing this, Ling Du immediately explained, "These contact lenses are made of special materials. They won't hurt his eyes." Zhuo Bao, seeing Shi Wei's reaction, thought she didn't like him. "Mommy, do you not like that Zhuo Bao is different from others?" "Of course not. No matter what, Mommy's love for Zhuo Bao will never change." Zhuo Bao was touched. "But seventh master, why does Zhuo Bao have to wear contact lenses?" "When Zhuo Bao was born, my mother felt his eye color was very unique. She was afraid that someone with bad intentions would notice him, and it would be too dangerous. So, when Zhuo Bao got a little older, she found experts to develop these contact lenses." After hearing Ling Du's explanation, although it made sense, Shi Wei still objected to such a young child wearing contact lenses. For a moment, Shi Wei even developed a strong interest in Zhuo Bao's birth mother. But she also felt an inexplicable familiarity with Zhuo Bao's eye color. Our Zhuo Bao's eyes are even more beautiful. We must protect them well. This overflowing maternal love conquered Ling. Dui promised not to let Zhuo Bao wear contact lenses anymore. But Zhuo Bao was still afraid of being different from other children. He felt he wouldn't fit in. Shi Wei gently comforted him. "Don't worry. God loves you. That's why he made you special." Zhuo Bao looked up at Shi Wei pitifully. "Really? Yes. You're the little angel God sent us. You have the most beautiful eyes in the world, so you should be happy. Then Zhuo Bao should bravely show off his eyes and make everyone envy me. Like me." Shen Tianyin watched Shi Wei's family of 3, happy and blissful, and felt a pang of bitterness. He feared that once her dormant memories were awakened, the girl before him would fall into the abyss again. On the way home, Shen Tianyin made a phone call. How did they know Wei wasn't dead? The other party paused for a moment. Deep Sea Assassination Organization. The news came from the Genesis Society. They promised to help the eldest miss of the Qian family. Qian Yerjin has joined forces with the Deep Sea Organization. Hearing this, Shen Tianyin tightened his grip on the steering wheel. Seeing his silence, the other party continued. "Time is of the essence. You have to find a way to help the eldest miss recover her memory. Let her return to the Empire soon and reclaim the Qin family's inheritance. The Dean's lifelong work in the lab cannot be destroyed by her elder brother and sister-in-law." "I'll find a way," Shen Tianyin said, then hung up the phone. Wei's face appeared in his mind. He couldn't help but wonder if she would give up her current life if she regained her memory and come back with me. The next day at the Lin family estate, Ling Mu lowered her head, playing with the cat at her lap and chatting with Wei. "Since you and Ling Do have decided to remove the colored contacts, I respect your decision." Suddenly, she paused, then changed the subject. "The wedding was rushed. I was thinking we should go visit your parents." A flicker of surprise crossed Wei's face. "Mother, you mean visit my parents?" Ling Mu smiled gently, "Of course, but not sure Jia's people, but the parents you recognize in your heart. Ms. Chow Moli and Mr. Shanghai." Suddenly, Wu Li Fei remembered something and put down the cat, looking at Wei. "Speaking of which, you were sold to human traffickers by your cruel grandmother. How did your mother find you back then?" Wei lowered her eyes, recalling. "Actually, I escaped when I was 18. I was forced to jump into the sea. A kind woman took me in for a while, then took me to the hospital for a checkup. They accidentally discovered that my genetic system had a hereditary relationship with hers. Then they did a paternity test. Finally, it was confirmed that I was her long-lost daughter." After listening, Ling Mu looked at her with a gentle gaze. She took Wei's hand. "You've been through so much, child. Don't worry. The Lin family will treat you well. Wei smiled and nodded. Lingmu paused, then looked at her meaningfully. Live a good life without do have your own child soon. It can be considered as making up for the regrets of your childhood. After Wei left, Lingmu sipped her tea and looked into the distance, silent. Butler Zhong instantly understood. He turned to the servants behind him and said, "All of you leave." After the servants left, Ling Mu finally spoke. According to the medical record from when Xiao Moli took her to the hospital, she lost her memory before the age of 18, and it still hasn't returned. So, was what she just said so flawlessly because she found it difficult to talk about, or was she deliberately hiding something? Ling Mu's eyes sharpened. Butler Zhong quickly tried to mediate. Madam, Xiao has been displaced since childhood. Joining the Lin family must be stressful. Not speaking about it is also her way of trying to leave a good impression on you. Ling Mu remained silent. She was dissatisfied with Butler Zhong's words. She wanted the couple to get along well, safe and sound, and be happy more than anyone. But if the situation changed, she would definitely protect her own son. Thinking of this, she instructed Butler Zhong, quietly investigate the clues about the baby girl who was sold to human traffickers by Rao Busi. Butler Zhong nodded in understanding. Then he looked up at Ling Mu, hesitant to speak. Madam, do you really agree to let the young master take off his colored contacts and reveal his original heterochromia? What if? Ling Mu glanced at him. Times have changed. Now the Lin family is powerful. We might as well use Xiao's heterochromia to see if we can flush out the few remaining people who knew about Adu's secret back then. Eliminate them as soon as possible. Thinking of Ling Du, Ling Mu felt that there was nothing she wouldn't risk for her son. At the Imperial City Ancient Film and Television Base, a splash followed by cries of pain rang out. Former Finfong entertainment artist Yi Qingtian was pushed to the ground. He got up and glared angrily at the person opposite him. Zheng Bang, you broke the prop? Whoever makes the mistake pays. I won't take the blame for this. And you're withholding my wages. I'm going to report you to the director. Zheng Bang, the person Yi Qingtian was accusing, was the leader of the extras group. Zheng Bang sneered. You brat, you think you can lecture me? Do you have any witnesses? Who's going to believe you? Yi Qingtian's face darkened. He clenched his jaw and glared at him icily. Annoyed by Zheng Bang's glare, Yi Qingtian warned, don't forget, I'm the one who's been helping you get all these extra roles. If you dare to cause me any trouble, you can forget about ever working in this industry again. He spat on the ground and turned to leave. Yi Qingtian didn't know how long he sat there afterward until his legs were numb. Just then, his phone notification chimed. He pulled the phone from his pocket. He glanced at the message. As expected, it was another reminder from the hospital to pay his mother's medical bills. He looked at his bank balance and gave a wry smile. He had to get up. His mother was waiting for him to pay her medical expenses. He couldn't afford to wallow in misery any longer. Exhausted, he walked off. The dim setting sun cast long shadows, making him look less like a young man in his early 20s and more like a weathered, time-worn elder. Looking at his reflection in the water, Yi Qingtian plunged his head into the clear stream. He stayed under for several seconds. Just then, Shi Wei happened to pass by and quickly grabbed him by the hair, pulling him out with a splash. Young man, you mustn't think of taking your own life. Yi Qingtian cried out in pain. He swatted her hand away, his hair, tie coming loose. I wasn't trying to kill myself. I just wanted to clear my head. Looking at the person before her, Shi Wei froze, her eyes widening. It was Yi Qingtian, an exceptionally talented man, struggling at the bottom rung of society. Thinking of this, she said, aren't you Yi Qingtian, the former Finfong entertainment artist? You're so handsome. Judging by your clothes, you're working as an extra? Yi Qingtian nodded. Shi Wei remembered this man from her past life. He'd had several chances to win Best Actor, but unfortunately, he was sabotaged and remained unrecognized for his talent. She thought, I'll show Shi Finjia what true headhunting looks like. She gave Jiang Bingbing a look. It's all yours. Jiang Bingbing smiled at okay. Yi Qingtian, startled by their little exchange, took a step back, stammering, what do you want? Jiang Bingbing smiled at him and pulled a business card from her bag. Hello, I'm Jiang Bingbing, a top agent at Rich Entertainment. I'm officially inviting you to join our company as an artist under Rich Entertainment. Are you interested? Confusion flickered in Yi Qingtian's eyes that you're the Jiang Bingbing. But I've never heard of Rich Entertainment. Shi Wei looked embarrassed. Haha, it's a newly established company. But don't worry, if you're willing to come to our company, I guarantee you a brilliant future. Iching Tian wanted to laugh. This girl looked even younger than him and seemed so naive. She must be Jiang Bingbing's assistant. The entertainment industry was so competitive. Becoming famous required not only support, but also luck. It wasn't that simple. He hesitated, then said, "Really?" Without a word, Jiang Bingbing pulled a USB drive from her bag. "We're sincere about wanting you. This is the script for our company's new project. After reading it, you'll definitely change your mind." Iching Tian looked at the USB drive, his feelings complex. Then Sher Wei handed him a check. "This check is an advance on your salary. Take it and use it for your mother's medical treatment." Iching Tian was stunned. How did you know?" Sher Wei smiled. "That we've had our eye on you for a while, so naturally, we did some research. It's a bit intrusive, but your mother's condition is indeed serious. If you have any difficulties, just tell the company. We have our resources." Iching Tian clutched the check, warmth spreading through him. A smile finally touched his lips. Shi Fenjia, watching from afar, was stunned at Iching Tian. How did he get involved with Shi Wei? As understanding dawned, Shi Fenjia's expression turned. "So, Shi Wei is getting revenge by poaching my talent. That damned rich in entertainment." Led by the receptionist, Iching Tian arrived at Shi Wei's office. Suddenly, he felt immense pressure. The entertainment industry was murky, with everyone talking a big game. He couldn't help but worry. Would Rich in Entertainment be like Fun Fong Entertainment, involved in shady dealings with wealthy sponsors? If so, he wouldn't accept it. He absolutely refused to be a kept man. With that thought, he turned the doorknob and walked in. Jiang Bingbing rose from the sofa as he entered. Mr. It's a pleasure to have you. Jiandan looked towards Iching Tian and quickly stood up. Yiving Tian Walkit towards Herr Windan. What a coincidence. Jiang Bingbing looked surprised. You two know each other? Jiandan nodded. Yes, we met while working as extras on the same set. I was playing a palace maid, and he was playing a eunuch. Iching Tian coughed awkwardly. Shi Wei, sitting casually, said, "What's the big deal? There's no shame in playing a eunuch. Have a seat." Iching Tian looked at her, bewildered. Wasn't she an assistant? Why was she acting so casually? He sat down next to Jiandan. Thanks. Jiang Bingbing looked at Iching Tian. Let me formally introduce you. This is CEO Wei of Rich in Entertainment. It's the big boss. Iching Tian immediately became incredibly nervous. CEO Wei. Yesterday, Wei simply smiled and looked at him. Oh, never mind that. The new film project is basically set up. Have you all read the script? Jiandan nodded. I've read it. It's about a thief who accidentally steals the wallet of a disabled person. They become acquainted because of this and gradually grow closer. To escape their difficult lives, they support each other's growth. I'll be playing the thief, and Lao, you will be playing a young man paralyzed from the waist down. But in the end, both of their fates are tragic. The thief, in order to pay for the young man's medical treatment, has to resort to stealing and is ultimately beaten to death. Iching Tian, who was standing to the side, also quickly took out the notes he had taken last night and said excitedly, "It's so wonderful. I was so moved after reading the script last night that I couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night and drafted a character analysis. There are many details I'd like to discuss with CEO Wei and Bingbing." At this moment, the office door was suddenly pushed open. A small assistant shouted desperately from behind, "You can't go in." Shi Fenjia completely ignored him and strode in, saying sarcastically, "Oh, little sister is busy." With a slap, he threw a contract onto the table. "So sorry, little sister, but Iching Tian still has a contract with me, so he can't sign with you." Hearing Shi Fenjia's words, Iching Tian became furious. He stood up and slammed the table. "Shi Fenjia, you tricked me into signing a slave contract, forced me to apologize by drinking, and even took 200,000 yuan as a penalty for breach of contract. How can you say I haven't terminated the contract with you?" Shi Fenjia looked at him with a sneer. "Penalty? What penalty?" "You." Iching Tian's face darkened with anger. In March of this year, you made me pay you in cash in your office. But I don't remember. Do you have surveillance footage? Any evidence?" Iching Tian froze, his hands unconsciously clenching. "Oh wonder you insisted on receiving cash in your office. It was so I wouldn't have any transfer records. You deleted the surveillance footage from that day and destroyed all the evidence." Jiang Bingbing quickly stood up and said, "President Shi, this is fraud and coercion." Shi Fenjia looked at her with a smirk. "Sue me if you dare. Want to play a long game of fraud with me?" At this point, Wei picked up the contract on the table and sat on the sofa, lazily flipping through it. Wow, what a terrifying indentured servitude agreement. A contract fee of 5 million, a 10-year contract, mandatory participation in all company activities, and only 100 yuan per event as a share of the profits. A typical unequal slave contract. Wei's eyes became incredibly sharp. Back then, he was just a newcomer with no representative works, no resources, and no roles. He was desperate, and I helped him. Shi Finjia said self-righteously. Wei sneered. Helped him? You didn't pull him out of the abyss. You took advantage of his misfortune and kicked him into hell. So what if he was a newcomer? You specifically target newcomers to trick them into signing fraudulent contracts. She then continued, looking at him, President Shi, if the head of Wanchuang behind you finds out about this, you'll have a lot of explaining to do. Panic flashed across Shi Finjia's face. How did she know? Wei smiled brilliantly at him. Please let Mystery go. She then tore up the contract. Shi Finjia gritted his teeth in anger that I understand. Then, little sister, please keep this matter confidential from Wan Chuang and the other artists under my company. He then turned to Yi Qing Tian, his eyes filled with malice. I originally wanted to make you a star, but I have other newcomers to manage. Let's just forget it. Our paths end here. We won't be in contact anymore. You're on your own. With that, he turned and stormed off. He wondered how much Wei actually knew about the head of Wan Chuang. Could it be that even Chuangshi Hui, the organization behind Wan Chuang, knew as well? After Shi Finjiao left, Jiang Bingbing looked at Yi Qing Tian and said seriously, remember, don't sign contracts casually in the future. A piece of paper can drag you to court or enslave you for life. Yi Qing Tian nodded quickly. I understand. Shi Wei smiled. All right, tomorrow I'll take you to audition for director Mao Tang. Yi Qing Tian looked surprised. Director Mao Tang? He's notoriously short-tempered and incredibly strict on set. It's said that when he was filming Love on Mercury, he forced a veteran actor over 70 years old to hold his breath underwater for more than 7 minutes while acting. The old man almost didn't make it back up. Jian nodded and said softly, and he's known for being aloof and arrogant. CEO Wei, how did you persuade him to collaborate? Wei held up her glass and shrugged. With money, of course. Jian was instantly speechless. That AS expected. CEO Wei is incredibly wealthy. Wei coughed awkwardly. In reality, she had specifically sought out Mao Tang and bought the script called Little Monkey King. She remembered that in her past life, Mao Tang, this talented but down-on-his-luck middle-aged man, had shot this film and swept the 3 major domestic film festivals, winning a total of 12 awards, including Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Cinematography. However, Mao Tang had faced numerous difficulties while filming this movie, the main one being a lack of funds. And she was making this film to win an award at the upcoming Huaya Awards and attract the attention of Chuangshi Hui. Once he gets those priests on board, he'll be one step closer to the truth about his mother's death. The only thing is, he hasn't discussed with them why he trusts this script so much and why he trusts Mao Tang so much. After all, as someone reborn, he now sees many things from a God's eye view. He glanced at Jian and Yi Qing Tian. Anyway, you two, during your audition the day after tomorrow, you must use your acting skills to conquer that stubborn old man. Jian and Yi Qing Tian exchanged glances, full of energy. They replied in unison, yes, CEO Wei. At 8 p.m., Wei arrived at the Idol Training Camp's debut stage. As the concert began, Wei glanced at the program list in the music festival brochure and found that her brother's performance was scheduled in the middle. Although she would have to wait a while, she felt this position was quite good. Not too early, not too late. By then, the audience's atmosphere would be just right. Meanwhile, backstage in the dressing room, Shi Chen's teammate, Luo Hetian, looked anxiously at Jiang Bingbing. Bingbing, Zhang Yuan still isn't answering his phone. Shi Chen quickly responded, it's okay. If we can't find him, we'll change the formation. Everyone, give it your all. Although our ranking might not be too high, qualifying shouldn't be a problem. As long as we rely on our strength and perseverance, we'll definitely make a comeback in the next round. The 3 of them walked onto the stage full of confidence. Wow, son, I'm so excited for your uncle's performance. Are you excited? Zhua Bao cooperated perfectly, replying excited. Husband, are you excited? Wei, he asked excitedly. Ling Du replied very uncooperatively, not excited. Wei Yi and Zhua Bao simultaneously turned to glare at Ling Du, both wearing the same angry expression. Ling Du realized that angering his wife and son at the same time wouldn't end well, so he changed his tune. All right, I'm excited too. Zhua Bao saw right through him. Mommy, Daddy's just humoring you. Ling Du muttered, you little brat, are you trying to rebel? Zhua Bao, unafraid of his father's authority, jumped off his chair and climbed onto Wei Yi's lap. Mommy, Daddy's being mean. Let's not play with him. Oh dear, Wei Yi suddenly exclaimed. I forgot to buy flowers for Xiao Chun. Ling Du said lazily, why buy flowers? This is Xiao Chen's first public performance. I have to buy him a bouquet to celebrate. Wei Yi's face couldn't hide her pride that I'll go out and buy some later and pretend to be a fan to give them to him. No matter what, Xiao Chun can't be short on fanfare. With that, Wei Yi stood up, but Ling Du pulled her back down. Relax, he won't be lacking. He glanced at the fans behind them. Plenty of people want to give your little brother flowers. He'll be drowning in them soon. Wei Yi was about to say something when her phone rang. She quickly answered, hello. On the other end, Jiang Bingbing's anxious voice rang out, CEO Wei. Press backstage. I'll come get you. There's an emergency. As soon as Wei Yi entered backstage, Jiang Bingbing whispered, 10 minutes ago, Shi Finjiao arranged for a trainee, Zhang Yuan, to be in Xiao Chen's group. I suspect he intends to have Zhang Yuan sabotage the performance, making Xiao Chen's group finish last or even be eliminated directly. After I discovered this, I also placed a trainee, Sui Yu, into the group with Funfang Entertainment's artists and used resources to negotiate with Zhang Yuan, turning him to our side. However, an hour ago, Zhang Yuan disappeared. Wei thought for a moment he was probably caught by Finfang after being exposed. By then, they had reached the dressing room. Wei, he pushed the door open. Don't be discouraged, everyone. We've moved your performance to the end. There's still time. Jiang Bingbing nodded. That's right. If Zhang Yuan doesn't show up, we'll activate the contingency plan and switch to a 3-person formation. At that moment, Shi Chen's other teammate, Bei Xiankai, suddenly spoke up, but Bingbing, our innovative 4-person formation, is key to our victory. Could we ask our dance teacher to fill in? Jiang Bingbing's eyes lit up. She looked excitedly at Wei Yi. Didn't you say you've been practicing that dance at home and have memorized it? Hearing this, Wei Yi instantly understood what she meant. Jiang Bingbing nodded. Exactly. If you dress as a man and take his place, the formation remains unchanged, and we're guaranteed a top 3 finish. As soon as she said this, the other 3 looked at her expectantly. Wei Yi looked at them awkwardly. Next up, please welcome the Ing group with their tribute to the classic, What's You Are Noma. The audience waved their hands and light sticks, screaming, I heard Zue Yaoer design the costumes. I'm so excited. Ling Du sat there expressionless. Where's Wei Yi? She's been gone so long. Just then, the stage lights snapped on. The moment they appeared on stage, Ling Du's eyes widened. What's she doing there? Standing beside Shi Chun was Wei Yi, dressed as a man. As the music began, there was a brief silence. Then the audience waved their hands and light sticks, screaming again. That guy isn't Zhang Yuan. Is he a special guest? He's so handsome. Watching the person on stage, Ling Du couldn't help but scoff. Wei Yi, just how many surprises do you have that I don't know about? At this moment, Zhua Bao was anxiously jumping up and down over there. That I can't see. I can't see anything. What do I do, Daddy? Ling Du stood up. Zhua Bao instantly became very excited. That I can see. I can see. Then he shouted towards the stage. Uncle's teammate, Zhua Bao, is also here to support you. Rivers flow east of the sea. I just love Bei Xiankai. When will spring flowers and autumn moon end? Luo Hatian's destiny is still the best. Then, as luck would have it, he was caught on camera and projected onto the large LED screen on the stage. All the audience members in the venue saw a cute child suddenly appear on the screen. Instantly, a wave of laughter and cheers erupted. Wow, isn't that the Lin family's young master? Absolutely adorable. They're trying to trick me into having kids again. That cute kid actually has the same idol as me. Ha. Why do I feel inexplicably proud? Wei had just finished singing a segment. During a break in the music, he glanced back at the big screen. Then he froze. This is Zhua Bao. Wei saw Ling Du lifting Zhua Bao into the air, cheering him on, and inadvertently becoming the center of attention for the audience. A smile appeared in his eyes. Holding a microphone, he couldn't help but say, that little guy can you give me a heart? Zhuo Bao looked up carefully. Genderbet mommy, I have to give her this face. Following this, Zhuo Bao, who usually had a very cool persona, waved his arms and raised his small hands above his head, making a big heart. Boom! It was as if something had exploded invisibly in the air. The atmosphere boiled over like scalding water. Aw, so cute. Oh my god, I want to steal him and take him home to raise him myself. How can he be so cute? Wah, I also want to have such a cute baby. At the end of Wei Yi's performance, applause, screams, and cheers rose and fell, creating a grand scene. This live performance was a huge success. Because all the group members successfully became A-class trainees, they gained immense popularity. After the performance ended, the enthusiasm of the audience below only increased, chanting encore in unison. One of the mentors even specifically singled out the substitute mystery young man, saying that it would be a travesty if he didn't debut. As a result, after the program aired, the mysterious and fearless young man from the Ying group instantly trended online, attracting a large wave of fans and becoming the second most popular trainee after Shurchen. In the Ying group's dressing room, I heard that those few artists from Funfang Entertainment performed mediocrely, but they were still inserted into the A-class. Upon hearing this, Wei looked at Jiang Bingbing in disbelief. No talent, all hype. Aren't they afraid of backlash? Jiang Bingbing smiled. Black and red publicity? Sometimes, doubt and controversy are actually good things. After all, controversy generates buzz. Then she looked at Shurchen, who was removing his makeup. However, I'm worried that being too popular isn't a good thing. I'm afraid Xiao Chan won't have it easy in the A-class. Wei Yi frowned, genuinely worried that they'll be living in the same dorm after the class division, right? With Shi Finjia backing him, won't those Funfang Entertainment trainees eat Xiao Chen alive? Speaking of which, why didn't Shi Finjia come to provoke me this time? Could he be deliberately avoiding me? Jiang Bingbing sneered. The A-class isn't just Funfang Entertainment. There are investors, advertisers, and the program team's own agenda. They definitely know how to maximize traffic. Wei stroked his chin. But with the Little Monkey King project, I won't be able to visit often. I still need to arrange for a reliable person with good combat skills to infiltrate the production team and protect you guys. Especially my brother. He's so handsome. What if he encounters some Seising or pervert? As he spoke, his eyes inadvertently glanced towards the door. Suddenly, he screamed, "There's a Seising pervert." He happened to be seen by Ling Du, who had just arrived, and Ling Du kicked the pervert to the ground. Wei Yi quickly stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. Pretty bold, aren't you? Do you want your hands broken first, or your legs? Just as Wei Yi's fist was about to land, Bai Qingxiao quickly took off his hat and yelled, "Sister-in-law." Wei Yi was surprised and quickly retracted his hand. "Qingxiao, you came to see the performance too?" Shurchen turned to look at him. "What are you doing here?" "Sneaking around." Bai Qingxiao suddenly felt awkward. He quickly took out the flowers in his hand and shoved them into Shurchen's arms. "I bought you a bouquet on behalf of sister-in-law. Wishing you a bright future." Shurchen suddenly felt nauseous. He quickly threw the flowers back, cursing, "Are you sick?" Bai Qingxiao was puzzled. "I'm giving you flowers out of goodwill. Why are you cursing me? Of all the varieties, you had to choose roses, and bright red ones at that." Bai Qingxiao retorted, "Are these roses? These are clearly China roses." Watching the two of them bickering, Wei Yi and his family stood by, feeling quite helpless. Then, Wei stopped paying attention to them and picked up Zhuo Bao. Zhuo Bao looked at him happily and said, "Mommy, you look so pretty in men's clothing too. Is this the legendary male mommy?" Wei Yi awkwardly explained, "Baby, the term male mommy isn't used like that." Then he felt a strong, low-pressure aura behind him. Wei didn't need to guess to know it was definitely Ling Du being jealous. He had felt 2 icy glares earlier when Nanping had confessed to him. "I'll make it up to you tonight." He then picked up his phone and started typing furiously. Just then, Ling Du's phone chimed with a notification. He opened it, and his face instantly turned livid. Steam practically poured from his ears. Just then, Zhuo Bao stared with wide eyes. "Mommy, what's the fourth love?" Wei Yi quickly pulled him closer, saying, "Baby, you can't watch this. It's not suitable for children." Ling Du, standing behind them, facepalmed. "You know it's not suitable for children, and yet you're still doing it." Night fell at the temporary villa. Ling Du came out of the shower and saw Wei Yi still hadn't changed clothes. He couldn't help but get a little angry. Wei Yi, are you crazy? You're still wearing the wig and men's clothes. We're home. Why haven't you changed back into women's clothing? The next second, Wei Yi pressed against him, caressing his chest. Ancient emperors also had the preference of having their favorite concubines dress up as little eunuchs. Today, I'll let you experience the joy of an emperor, Wei Yi said, reaching out to pull open the tie at her chest, revealing an excited and mischievous smile, stepping closer to him. Ling Du ruthlessly extended his hand and pushed her away. Stop messing around. This will only get you into trouble. Wei Yi remained unfazed. The more you resist, the more excited I get. Ling Du picked up a nightgown and looked at her meaningfully. Wei Yi, I'm giving you one last chance. Are you going to change or not? Wei didn't hesitate, and this made Ling Du grind his teeth in anger. Fine. You asked for it. The next second, he spun around and pinned her down on the bed. Wei hadn't reacted yet and stared at him blankly. Ling Du leaned down and whispered in her ear, since we're both men, let's communicate like men. He grabbed the blanket and covered them both. His palm cupped the back of her head, and he lowered his head and kissed her. The lingering kiss carried a ravenous, almost wolfish intensity. The bedroom filled with the scent of hormones, soft moans mixed with heavy panting. 2 hours later, Ling Du got up and dressed. Looking at the person on the bed, he couldn't help but think of her wearing the man's wig and the woman's nightgown. Wei lay on the bed and muttered softly, Ling Du, you're so unromantic. You've already taken everything off. Why not do it again? The next second, the man had already taken off his clothes and was nuzzling her neck. Meanwhile, at the Genesis Society's local branch, the ranks of the Genesis Society, from highest to lowest, are Neopope, Cardinal, Bishop, and Priest. Bishop Wei Ji of the Genesis Society sat on his throne. He looked up, his makeup exquisite, the corners of his eyes elongated and upturned by eyeliner, giving him a look that was both humble and haughty. He lazily looked at the others seated before him. Our superiors have issued a notice. Next year's main objective is to establish our influence throughout China. We will approach this from multiple angles: economic, political, ideological, and cultural. We will slowly dominate China. Not only will we use business warfare to break through the financial circles of China's capital, but we will also use film and television to gradually control the minds of young people. Do any of you priests have any good ideas? Luna spoke up. Speaking of China, we have to mention the Lin Corporation. We previously invited the current head of the Lin Corporation, Ling Du, to join us and offered him favorable terms. However, this Lin head is different from his grandfather. He's a tough nut to crack. Lucifer quickly added, Bishop, perhaps we could try a different approach. We could target Ling Du's wife and child. Wei Ji nodded. That's a good idea. But no matter what, we must not rashly start a war with Ling Du. The reason someone refuses to cooperate is because the conditions haven't met their expectations. He then turned his gaze to the silent man who had been looking down the entire time. Pluto, are there any gatherings of the Chinese elite coming up? Pluto took off his glasses and wiped them, slowly saying, there's the Huaya Film Awards in 2 months. Hearing this, Wei Ji laughed heartily. Perfect. I'll have a good meeting with Mr. and Mrs. Ling Du then, and we'll choose an outstanding film and television company to work for us. Luna suddenly asked, Bishop, what if they don't cooperate? A venomous glint appeared in Wei Ji's eyes. Those who refuse or resist will be considered heretics. Anyone who hinders the establishment of the New World Order will be killed without mercy. Why did the Genesis Society choose Ling Du and yet dare not confront him directly? Because of the Lin Corporation's immense influence in China. Ling Du spends $100 million annually on family security. The Sanshui Group is one of the security teams he employs. Calling them a security team, however, doesn't quite capture it. The members all have impressive backgrounds and exceptional skills. Rather than calling them security, it's more accurate to say they are Ling Du's private army. Their daily task is to protect the personal safety of key members of the Lin family. The day before the auditions for the Monkey King film, Wei Yi went to the Lin Corporation's Sanshui Group shooting range. She borrowed a bodyguard from Ling Du, Ashur, who was also Luo Chio's junior. She planned to have him follow Shurchun. She was practicing her shooting when a sudden yell rang out, that I won't go. Let go of me. Let go. Wei Yi turned around. Looking around, where's that screaming coming from? Just then, Zhuo Bao's teacher, Chun Zhousheng, dragged someone in front of her. Madam Xiao, Ashur is here. I've already told him about your request. However, Ashur isn't as steady as Luo Qiu. He's got a straightforward personality. Wei Yi looked up and saw Ling Du's darkened face. Her own expression immediately turned serious. This woman is nothing but trouble. No one else is worthy of Godfather. The only thing I know is that Zero's subordinates all have impressive backgrounds and exceptional skills. If I want them to work for me, I need to make them submit. Thinking of this, she smiled. Let him go. Wen Yin. Ashur quickly pulled his hand away from Chun Zhousheng's grip. Chun Zhousheng was puzzled. Young madam, with so many security personnel, why did you choose Ashur? His combat skills aren't particularly outstanding, and he's stubborn. Wei didn't seem bothered by Ashur's attitude. Looking at him, she smiled at Ashur, right? I heard you also dabble in photography and videography. You even won a National Photography Award in school. I want to hire you for a program team to act as a cameraman and secretly protect my younger brother. Ashur remained unmoved, looking at her with disdain. Young madam, I advise you to give up this idea. Don't even think about persuading me. Being stubborn isn't a good thing. Moreover, Godfather doesn't like fools. Having her kindness rebuffed, Wei Yi couldn't deny feeling a little frustrated, but she didn't intend to give up. Then tell me, what will it take for you to agree? As soon as she finished speaking, a fist came hurtling towards her with the force of a gale. Wei Yi's pupils dilated. With a nimble twist of her slender body, she narrowly dodged the attack. Chun Zhousheng glared at Ashur disapprovingly. Ashur, you've gone too far. Wei Yi stood up and said calmly. It's fine. Ashur sneered. As long as you can beat me, I'll agree to help you. Wei Yi's eyes flickered. Raising her hand, she said, no problem. Let's make this clear beforehand. If I win, you have to respectfully obey my commands. Ashur arrogantly hooked his finger at her. I keep my word. I'll fight you unarmed. I'll even give you 3 moves. Wei Yi smiled. Since that's the case, her body shot out like lightning, appearing in front of Ashur in a flash. Her slender fingers lashed out towards him. Ashifroned. Her speed was unexpectedly fast, taking him by surprise. Just then, Wei Yi flipped over and, with a swift, fierce move, twisted his arm behind his back. A crack echoed as his arm dislocated. Ashur cried out in pain. The move had caught him completely off guard. Close-quarters combat had always been his weakness since his early days in Longling. He could handle small-time thugs, but when fighting against stronger opponents, he was always at a disadvantage. So, for 4 whole years, he had painstakingly practiced this finishing move. It had never failed him before. In his pain, Ashur's head jerked back, hitting Wei Yi's nose. The impact caused Wei Yi's pupils to dilate. Images flashed through her mind. A blind woman thrashing and shouting, "Let me go! Let me out!" Wei Yi was bewildered. Why was she seeing this blind woman again? Was this a nightmare or a fragment of her memory from before she was 18? Most importantly, why did this woman's voice sound so familiar? The scene shifted again. Lightning flashed, waves crashed, and wind howled. A girl hid beneath a black rock. Seeing their target disappear, the pursuers cursed that it seemed she abandoned her child and ran away after all. We overestimated her. Madam Xiao, are you all right? Wei Yi suddenly snapped back to reality. Ashur clutched his throbbing arm and looked at her apologetically. Wei Yi said softly, "I'm fine." Then, her voice turned, "I see why.So, will you obey my orders now?" A chill ran down Ashur's spine as he stared at Wei Yi's beautiful yet cold face. His heart skipped a beat. He finally felt complete admiration for her. Indeed, her close-quarters combat wasn't as good as his, but it wasn't that her techniques were inferior. On the contrary, her moves were swift, fierce, and deadly. At this moment, Ashur finally realized that the woman his boss had married was no ordinary woman. He stammered, "Yes, very well." He stepped forward and with a crack, set her arm back in place. "I know you didn't do that on purpose. Come with me." Ashinoded obediently poignes. Just then, Wei Yi seemed to remember something and turned to Chun Zhousheng. "Don't tell 7th Master about this little incident." But Wei Yi smiled gently. "A gentleman is open and honest, while a petty person is always suspicious. There's no need to make a fuss over this." Chun Zhousheng nodded. "I understand." Ashur stared at her with a complicated expression. He hadn't expected Wei Yi to be so forgiving. He silently vowed to complete his mission and make up for his earlier transgression. Later that day, the filming location was in a squalid slum. The houses were small and dark. I Ching Tian lay on a dilapidated, filthy wooden bed, looking expectantly at Jiandan. Director Mao Tang walked in with the script, his face grim. He unleashed a torrent of criticism at I Ching Tian. Oh no, your expression is wrong. I Ching Tian sat up and asked humbly, what's wrong? Please enlighten me, director. Mao Tang bent down, pointed to his own eyes, and said, the way a disabled person looks at people is different from how we normal people look. Normal people see light and think nothing of it. When you see light, you should be ecstatic, joyful, crazy. I know I was just now, wasn't I? I Ching Tian was actually very uneasy. He understood what Mao Tang meant, which is why his eyes were so wide. If Mao Tang hadn't seen the light and hope in his eyes, wouldn't that mean his acting wasn't up to par? I Ching Tian clutched the fabric of his trousers on his thigh. He felt like he was sitting on pins and needles. How could his acting not be up to par? He thought self-reproachfully. Meanwhile, Mao Tang paced anxiously. Just now, your eyes had that feeling, but it's still missing something. What's missing? Mao Tang furrowed his brow. What's missing? In truth, Mao Tang himself couldn't put his finger on it. He didn't think I Ching Tian's acting was bad. On the contrary, I Ching Tian had delivered everything he'd asked for. But no matter how he looked at it, something felt lacking. What was that missing element? It flashed through Mao Tang's mind, but he couldn't grasp it. Mao Tang was an impatient man to begin with, and now, caught in his own confusion, he scratched his head furiously in frustration. Jiandan walked over and said softly, Director, don't worry. Let's think about it some more. Wei Yi, who had been observing from outside, hurried in. Quick, help Director Mao wipe the blood, she said, handing over a tissue. Jiandan nodded. Wei Yi hadn't expected this. It was rumored that Director Mao was prone to hitting people. Turns out the rumor should have been that he's only self-destructive. He really goes all out. Jiandan handed the tissue over and then quietly went back to review I Ching Tian's performance on the monitor. She muttered, I think Ching Tian acted very well. I can feel the hope radiating from him, inside and out. As soon as Jiandan finished speaking, Wei Yi's voice suddenly rang out wrong. Everyone turned to look at her. Seeing the boss had arrived, Mao Tang, despite his bad temper, had to restrain himself. Wei Yi looked at I Ching Tian. Her words were directed at him, but also at everyone. When you're disabled and you see Jiandan, you see the light, but you don't see hope. On the contrary, you only feel more despair. Everyone on set was stunned. Mao Tang even raised an eyebrow. You think disabled people truly believe in redemption? Ching Tian, in this world, even the mentally ill believe an angel will come to save them. Only the disabled don't. Do you know why? I Ching Tian shook his head. Wait, he smiled faintly. I've told you stories before, haven't I? There was a blind girl who met a group of normal people at a charity event. The first month, those friends often visited her and even created a social media chat group. Gradually, their visits became less frequent. After 3 months, they never visited her again and disappeared from the group. But the blind girl still sent messages every day asking after them. Every day, until she sensed their indifference and quietly left the group chat herself. Because at that charity event, many people were compassionate, but more were just caught up in the moment or there to earn a badge. After getting the badge, there was nothing more. Everyone took a deep breath. The atmosphere grew heavy. Jiandan subconsciously asked, what happened to the girl after that? After that, the girl refused all humanitarian aid and visits from society. In the end, she committed suicide. Everyone gasped. I Ching Tian was even more incredulous. Suicide, Wei Yi repeated, her eyes glistening with tears. After a pause, her voice cleared, and she asked a thoughtful I Ching Tian, tell me, now that you see Jiandan, the woman who makes your heart flutter, do you still see hope? Do you still believe she can save you? Is there only love in your heart for her? I Ching Tian shook his head, his eyes filled with desolation, pain, and despair. That I love her. I hope she loves me too, but she can't save me. I'll only be a burden to her. He paused, then gave a bitter smile. I both hope she loves me and hope she doesn't. At this moment, Mao Tang was incredibly excited. Yes, that's the look. He took off his old glasses, rubbed his tired eyes, and then gave the cameraman a look. Everyone, get in your places. Let's do it again. Wei Yi's eyelashes trembled. She turned to look slowly at Jian Dan and Yi Qing Tian. This movie is going to be a hit. Meanwhile, Seventh Master, who had come to visit the set, was stunned by Wei Yi's words. For some reason, he felt like she was talking about herself when she described the blind girl. After Yi Qing Tian and Jian Dan resumed filming, Wei Yi walked out and went to the nearby riverbank alone. This area was a slum in the capital. The houses were low, and as the sun set, even the birds flew particularly low and slow, as if their feathers were coated with something dark and heavy, like gasoline, diesel, or oil. Something that weighed them down, exhausted them. Wei Yi stood by the river, staring blankly at the grayish-white eastern sky. Mao Tang, a man in his 40s, suddenly walked over and stood beside her, a cigarette dangling from his lips as he looked into the distance. That you're so young. You could be my daughter. Wei Yi nodded. My father is about your age. I heard you're a rich girl, a wealthy wife. Be no dit yes. A look of confusion crossed Mao Tang's face. If that's the case, you must have lived a life of luxury since childhood. How can you have such a deep understanding of the lives of disabled people? Wei Yi was the only one who smiled, because I was blind once too. I was sold to human traffickers by my grandmother right after I was born. I wasn't found until I was 18. My eye condition was cured later. The story I told earlier, that was something I only said when I was 18. Her tone was light and breezy, but the smile at the corner of her mouth gradually turned bitter. Mao Tang was stunned. He found it hard to believe that a socialite for a wealthy family had experienced so much at such a young age. Wei Yi, recalling the past, suddenly felt down. After a moment of silence, she said, "Right now, there's a constant stream of trashy commercial films. Although Little Monkey King doesn't have humor or exciting plot twists or a glamorous reversal of fortune, the fate of marginalized characters and the theme of human suffering can often be more thought-provoking and touching. It makes people appreciate what they have." She paused, then added, "Appreciate the sweetness of what they have, even their eyesight." Mao Tang stared at her and couldn't help but smile that you're so young. Yet your perspective is so forward-thinking and sharp. Just then, Ling Du's voice sounded from behind. Wei Yi, let's go home. Wei Yi turned and smiled at Mao Tang. Director Mao, I'll be going now. I look forward to seeing the finished film. Mao Tang patted his chest. Don't worry, I have faith in this project. With that, Wei Yi turned and left. Mao Tang stared at her retreating figure. Such promise at such a young age. The two walked one after the other. Suddenly, Ling Du spoke. Can you tell me about your experiences when you were blind? Seeing her silence, Ling Du stopped and turned around. Wei just stared at him, seemingly lost in thought. This was something Wei Yi only wanted to share with Ling Du. She didn't want to hide it from him. Thinking this, she looked up at the sky. Actually, when my mother found me at 18, I had lost all my memories from the past 18 years because of shipwreck. 6 months later, my mother cured my blindness. Ling Du looked at her, his eyes full of distress. That you're always so optimistic, confident, and energetic. You don't seem like someone who's been through so much. Wei Yi smiled faintly. It's just a matter of overcoming each hurdle, enduring each difficult night. After all, joy and sorrow are self-managed. Others can't truly understand. It's better to collapse quietly and heal silently than to pretend to be fine. Ling Du quickly said, regardless of experience, the ability to deeply organize and manage one's inner world is inherently captivating. Wei Yi continued, my being is inherently fragmented. I can accept my own brokenness. I love myself first, then accept the love of others, and then give more love to others. Ling Du was momentarily stunned. You don't mind being broken? Ling Du nodded, looking at her with a gentle smile. That of course I don't mind. It's like when I found a broken seashell on the beach. Even though it was broken, I still wanted to bring it home and mend it with my love day by day. You are my one and only. After that, I never went back to the beach. Hearing these words, Ling Du's heart pounded. Then Wei moved closer to him. That I was once blind, and even now that I can see, I still don't like the night. But whenever the world goes dark, you are my light. With that, she kissed Ling Du on the lips. In the next second, Ling Du cupped the back of her head, deepening the kiss. Perhaps only those who have crawled out of the darkness can understand each other's obsessive views on love, marriage, and family. Some people can warm you, but only someone equally broken can save you. Ling Du looked deeply at Wei Yi. She had the courage to show him her broken side. He suddenly felt the urge to try to tell her about his past. Wei, I... Suddenly, his voice caught in his throat. Ling Du suddenly choked up, unable to speak. Sometimes it takes only a second to say something, but a lifetime to wait for the right moment. After a moment of silence, Ling Du turned and said, "I'm going to get some hot tea." Watching him walk away, Wei was puzzled. Just then, Ling Du's assistant, when she caught up with him, "Seventh Master, the people from the Genesis Society have sent another invitation, hoping to meet with you. Same as always. Ignore them." When she nodded, "Yes." Meanwhile, filming for Little Monkey King continued at a frantic pace. Zhuo Bao even made a cameo appearance as the stray monkey adopted by Wen Yu and Zheng Jian. Jian Dan, the lead actress, had numerous long takes involving crying scenes, often crying until she fainted. To experience the character's pain authentically, Jian Dan refused to wear protective gear during the fight and escape scenes, resulting in scraped knees and near injuries. To provide the audience with a better viewing experience and to better understand the profession of a disabled car mechanic, the lead actor, Yiqing Tian, learned car repair skills at a repair shop before filming. Even more impressively, after work, Yiqing Tian stayed in the slum set, immersing himself in Zheng Jian's character. He not only tanned his skin, but also lost another 20 pounds from his already slim frame. He also rarely washed his hair during filming. In a particularly emotional scene, where Zheng Jian briefly releases his pent-up emotions, Yiqing Tian insisted on performing the scene himself, pushing himself to the point of exhaustion. Director Mao Tang. Producer Wei Yi. Not only did she polish the script repeatedly with the main creative team, but she also paid attention to the details of the styling and scenes. She helped the actors relax in various ways, allowing them to truly grow into their roles. In the end, the film had a total production cost of $3 million and was finished in just 1 month. 2 months later, Little Monkey King held its film launch. At the same time, Wei Yi also had to manage her own clothing brand, Zero, and a collaborative project with Ghazni. However, the subsequent progress of the collaboration encountered a small hiccup. Inside Zero Studios' photography studio, a man was guiding the movements of some young women. 1, 2, 3. Turn your head, release your charm. Give me your eyes. As he spoke, his body began to sway, gradually becoming more effeminate. This person was Zue Yao, previously seen dressed as a woman. Xiao Jinan, a sudden voice. Xiao Jinan was startled, frightened. His voice instantly changed back to a man's. Wei looked at him, her filial piety still evident. The models are taught well. Xiao Jinan coughed quickly. After all, I've walked more runways than they've eaten meals. His expression then became serious as he looked at Wei. Why the way? CEO Wei, you've come at the right time. Ghazni's mysterious brand consultant seems to think we're insignificant and wants to meet with me. Wei Yi frowned. I have an appointment for dinner with Ghazni's Asia-Pacific president tonight. My secretary said he only has 2 hours. You'll come with me. Then, with a determined look, 2 hours is enough. She suddenly remembered something and turned to Xiao Jinan. I almost forgot. The proud and aloof Xiao Jinan hates these kinds of occasions. Right? Xiao Jinan smiled. Not at all. This surprised Wei Yi that you've really changed a lot. Xiao Jinan didn't speak, just looked at her quietly. How could I possibly let you go to a business dinner alone? In a luxurious private room at the Juding Grand Hotel, Wei Yi, with Xiao Jinan, strode confidently towards Ren Qing, Ghazni's Asia-Pacific president, and their brand consultant, Zhao Min president run. Hello, I'm Wei Yi, the founder of Zero. Ren Qing looked up, saw Wei Yi, and stood up. He shook her hand. Hello, CEO Wei. Then Wei Yi gestured towards Zhao Min.mr. Zhao, I've long admired your name. Zhao Min didn't even glance at her, turning his head away without speaking. Wei Yi was embarrassed. She wondered if she had offended this supreme emperor. Mr. Zhao, a French national, was a titan in the fashion industry. Now in his 70s, he was known as the supreme emperor of fashion. He was not only the artistic director of JM, a top European luxury brand, but also a renowned aesthetics critic and visual artist. It could be said that from the late 1970s to the present, 40 years of global fashion trends were led by this legendary figure. However, due to his age and declining health in recent years, Mr. Zhao hadn't attended fashion events for a long time. Now, working behind the scenes at Ghazni, Wei Yi hadn't expected him to attend tonight's dinner. Xiao Jinan stepped past Wei Yi and approached Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao was very friendly, extending his hand for a handshake. "Please sit down." Seeing them so amicable, Wei was puzzled. Why was this proud, supreme emperor treating them so differently? Then everyone sat down. The waiter served the food. "Please enjoy." Wei whispered in Xiao Jinan's ear. "Xiao Jinan, you truly are a big shot in the fashion world. Even a giant like Mr. Zhao gives you face." Xiao Jinan nervously replied, "To be honest, I was Mr. Zhao's prize student once." Wei gasped, "Isn't that a good thing?" "Mr. Zhao believes in your talent, as long as we prove that we have the capability for large-scale, customized production and sales of clothing. For the sake of our teacher-student relationship, he definitely won't say anything else." Xiao Jinan pointed at himself awkwardly. "But I'm back in men's clothing now. Although Mr. Zhao hasn't said anything, he must think I've become vulgar. He's probably furious inside." Wei was speechless. These artistic types certainly had a unique perspective. At this point, Rinqing looked at them and got straight to the point. "The CEO Wei, Mr. Xiao, let's be frank. Although Mr. Xiao is the competition winner, and according to the agreement, we should indeed cooperate with your company. I'm sorry, but this matter was ultimately an oversight on Ghaznai's part. We never imagined that your company was actually established less than a few months ago." Wei smiled. "President Run, are you worried that we don't have the capacity to handle this order? I admire your designer's talent. I believe Mr. Xiao can definitely design amazing pieces for Ghazni. However, as you know, Ghaznai's products have a global audience, but your factory scale and distribution channels simply can't meet this demand." The atmosphere at the negotiating table was unfriendly. Although Rinqing wasn't exactly mocking, his tone was rather aggressive. Wei maintained a polite smile. "President Run, we still have time, don't we? 2 months at most." "2 months is enough." Zhao Min scoffed. Then, a glint of coldness and contempt flashed in his eyes. "Young people certainly speak with confidence. You, a fashion outsider, a business novice, where do you get the nerve to boast like this?" Xiao Jinan's face darkened when he heard this. Mr. Zhao was actually insulting Wei. Wei was known for her straightforward and fiery temper. She wasn't going to stand up and give Mr. Zhao a piece of her mind, was she? The man was almost 80. He couldn't handle that. Or more likely, he'd storm off, yelling, "I quit. Screw Ghazni. Screw business. Screw making money. I've got plenty of money. I don't need this." But unlike what they imagined, Wei didn't lose her composure. On the contrary, her expression and smile remained unchanged. Although a fleeting glint of coldness flashed through her beautiful eyes, Xiao Jinan quickly spoke up. "Mr. Ren, Grandpa Zhao, let's talk this over. This isn't about trust. Our company has the ability to continue with the project." Seeing Xiao Jinan like this, Zhao Min's eyes flashed with anger. He hadn't expected his aloof, otherworldly protege to lower himself for this woman. He then looked at Wei, his eyes sharp. What kind of good boss makes their designer grovel? Nobody wants to design for idiots. Wei smiled that "You're absolutely right, Mr. Run, Mr. Zhao. If your company is giving up such a good design from Mr. Xiao just because you don't trust Zero or because you think Zero isn't famous enough, then indeed, nobody wants a design for idiots." Rinqing's face turned iron gray after hearing this. Wei looked at him and continued, "Business is about profit, but it's also about trust and contracts. Besides, changing horses midstream is a major military taboo. Zero doesn't want to give up the opportunity to cooperate with your group. I just want to tell Mr. Run, since we dare to sit here today, we're certainly not overestimating ourselves. We just lack some downstream experience. Please, Mr. Run, give us a chance. Within 2 months, all our problems will be resolved, and we will deliver the most satisfactory movie merchandise to your group as scheduled." Wei said all this in one breath, every sentence calm and assured, unhurried and confident, as if, just as she said, such a big problem was just a small matter she could easily resolve within 2 months. Rinqing was stunned for a few seconds after hearing this. He then looked at Zhao Min beside him. Zhao Min's aura was even more imposing than his. After all, he was like the emperor of the fashion world. Just sitting there, he was a veritable giant. Zhao Min pursed his lips, didn't speak, but just nodded. Subsequently, the two parties happily signed the contract. Zhao Min sat there quietly, looking at Xiao Jinan. This foolish protege for this woman, he'd actually turned straight. There were so many good women and men out there, but he had to have a crush on a married woman. Truly stubborn. This day was the 4th day after the premiere of Little Monkey King. Because it was close to Christmas, many movies were vying for release. Little Monkey King clashed with Fin Fong Entertainment's Chasing Dreams. Inevitably, comparisons were made. Jian Dan and Yi Ching Tian's status, after all, wasn't as high as the young idols and starlets in Chasing Dreams. So Little Monkey King's box office was slightly disadvantaged. That day, Wei Yi brought Zero to the cinema. Looking at the bustling crowd, Wei Yi couldn't help but mutter, "It's almost New Year's Eve. The crowds are huge. I deliberately chose an off-peak time." Zero looked at her, puzzled. Lin Corporation has thousands of high-end private cinemas, even one built under the sea. Why do we have to come to this ordinary cinema? Wei Yi looked at him and chuckled. Because I want to personally investigate the audience's viewing reactions. Besides, you're already tired of those high-end cinemas, right? It's good to change things up occasionally. She then pointed to the ticket booth. Fulfill your duties as an ordinary husband. Go and queue up nicely. I really can't do anything with you. Zero sighed helplessly, watching her back as she walked away. Wei Yi smiled and said, "I want chocolate-flavored popcorn." Just then, a sharp voice rang out behind her. "Yo, Wei Yi." Wei Yi turned around to see Shi Finchuan looking at her with a sneer. "Second sister, I heard Little Monkey King's box office is a bit bleak. Big Sister's Chasing Dreams is doing much better." Wei Yi glanced at him and said indifferently, "Dubon hasn't opened scoring yet. I'm not worried at all." On the other hand, Chasing Dreams is being called a flop and is even trending on social media for it. With your level of taunting, I'd feel more accomplished if your sister came herself. Shi Finchuan jumped up and down in anger, shouting at her, "If the box office doesn't pick up, the cinemas won't give Little Monkey King any screens. Just wait for it to be pulled." Wei Yi ignored him, cleaning her ears. Where did the Shi family learn their manners? Could they really be avoiding her? Inside Cinema Hall 1, Wei Yi ate popcorn and looked around. The huge screening hall had only a dozen or so people. Wei Yi observed that many of them were couples in the talking stage or in the heat of love. Moreover, they all bought seats in the corners. Only 2 or 3 people bought seats in the front row. She understood immediately. They were purely here to date in the cinema. Some even brought a huge pile of snacks. Most importantly, they planned to have a good sleep. Wei suddenly felt a pang of heartache. Besides herself, were there no die-hard, pure love warriors here to watch the movie? Looking at the young couple in the front row, the girl, because she was cold, actually sat directly on the boy's lap. The two of them were constantly whispering sweet nothings. They can do that. Wei Yi's jaw dropped. She pointed her finger and pouted .0. Look at them. I want the next second, Wei Yi said, taking off her coat and draping it over Zero's legs. Touched, Zero reached out and caressed her face, looking at her with a smile. "Seventh Master, let's warm up a bit before the movie starts." Zero hesitated, then quickly said, "There are cameras in the cinema. They can see everything clearly." Wei Yi became instantly impatient. The strong have already begun. Only the weak complain about their environment. Zero sat up straight. Movie theaters are only for watching movies. He then snapped his fingers. Snap! In the next second, a dozen men in black appeared and sat down next to the couples. Their imposing presence intimidated the couples into sitting quietly and watching the movie. Wei Yi muttered, "Seventh Master, that's so mean." Zero, looking at the screen, said seriously, "It's a film you worked hard on. They should watch it seriously." Looking at him, Wei Yi felt her heart skip a beat, losing its usual rhythm and pounding erratically. After the movie, everyone was crying. Zero and Wei Yi calmly left. "Well, madam, did the audience's reaction meet your expectations?" Wei Yi grinned at him. "After this test, I'm sure this film will get a high rating on Dubon. We just need a final push with the publicity." The audience, watching them leave so calmly, couldn't help but wonder if their hearts were made of ice. As Wei Yi exited the screening hall, people from the opposite theater were also coming out, covering their faces and sobbing. This puzzled Wei Yi seriously, she thought. Chasing Dreams can make people cry too. The next second, she heard them cursing. One audience member was crying from anger to, "Oh, what if he's a top star?" He still cried. Another was laughing hysterically. "Fin Fong Entertainment don't make art films anymore. You can't handle it." Wei Yi felt a surge of satisfaction. So they were crying because it was bad. Just then, she seemed to see someone and walked over with a smile. "Chun Chun." Shi Finchuan gritted his teeth. Damn it, I still have to pretend in front of Mr. Lin. Wei walked up to him, a triumphant glint in her eyes. Tell Shi Finjia it wasn't Tong Zong who defeated him, but a crossover. She then suddenly leaned closer, glaring at him with icy eyes, and she continued darkly, compared to your brother-in-law who can't interfere in my family's affairs, you should be more afraid of me. With that, she turned and took Zero's arm. See you later, Chun Chun. After they left, Shi Finchuan finally couldn't hold back and screamed, I hate you. I hate you. From that day on, Little Monkey King's box office numbers multiplied. Jian Dan and Yi Qingtian's acting received significant exposure and praise. Both the leads and the film were nominated for the Huaya Awards. A week later, Little Monkey King's box office takings exceeded 100 million, more than 30 times the initial investment. For such a niche film, this box office performance was already very high, especially considering there was still time before the film was removed from theaters, and the box office numbers were expected to continue growing. At an overseas Genesis Society branch, the long-absent Shi Funjia bowed and scraped before the seated figure. Are you really willing to choose Funfang Entertainment as your entry point to control the Huawei entertainment industry? Luna nodded. High Priest, thank you so much. In the next second, Shi Finjia knelt down and kissed his foot. The reason Shi Finjia had been avoiding Wei was that she knew he had the backing of Wanchuang City, and he was afraid she would question him, exposing Wanchuang City as a force under the Genesis Society. Now, he could finally hold his head high. Luna snorted, thinking, how else could I keep you as my obedient dog? Suddenly, his long fingers pinched Shi Finjia's chin hard. He glared at him fiercely. However, your Funfang Entertainment has failed several times. From the idol training program to this Lunar New Year film being criticized on trending searches. I'm giving you one last chance. Remember, useless things are only fit to be discarded. Shi Finjia kowtowed repeatedly. Yes, yes. Luna continued, and the young men and women for human experimentation are still required. You must also provide several handsome men from the entertainment industry. For the annual enjoyment of the business and political figures in the guild, he added, glancing at a document to the side. He picked it up. It was the 37th Huaya Awards winners list. Rich in entertainment, he said, a sinister and cunning smile spreading across his face. This rich in entertainment is excellent. Perhaps they can be used by the Genesis Society. At the resort hotel, Jiang Bingbing was reporting to Wei Yi with a tablet. Since the movie's release, many producers have called, inviting Jian Dan and Yi Qingtian for roles. There are also advertising endorsements and such. Wei Yi frowned, troubled, but I've read those scripts. They claim to be adapted from popular novels, but they're all similar. Wait, he always wants scripts with novel genres and unique plots. Jiang Bingbing sighed. Unfortunately, the good scripts on the market right now. Good screenwriters are incredibly rare. Wei Yi stretched languidly. The script is waiting for me to delve into it. You go ahead and find some suitable projects for Qingtian and Jiandan. There are no resources currently available. Sign a new batch of actors. It's going to wrap things up perfectly by the end of the year. Jiang Bingbing then put away her tablet. At that moment, the two little ones were ing by the shore. They said in unison, Mommy, you promised to play with us. Zhuo Bao pouted, clearly unhappy. Whenever Zhuo Bao's mommy and Lian's mommy chatted, the topic always shifted from Zhuo Bao and Lian to work, and they couldn't seem to stop. Lian nodded in agreement. There's nothing I can do. My mommy is a Capricorn. When I grow up, I want to be a capable and strong woman too. The two adults behind them felt a pang of awkwardness. Just then, Bai Shaoqing lifted the two children out of the water with a splash. Ha, kids, you're standing on the shoulders of giants now. The next second, there was a sudden TSSS as a stream of water shot his face. Shi Chun held a water gun on his shoulder. Environmental protection. Quick, grab your water guns and squirt this weird uncle. Bai Qingxiao looked up at Shi Chen's abs, his cheeks flushing. I thought you were lean, but muscular. I didn't realize you were just skinny. Idols need to be mindful of their physique. Come work out with me from now on. As soon as he said this, Shi Chun bristled. Mind your own business. He continued spraying water at Bai Qingxiao's face. Whether I have muscles or not, I'm still more handsome than you. Wei watched as the two grew increasingly antagonistic. These two are acting really strange. Jiang Bingbing, observing the chaotic scene, suddenly spoke up. Wei Zong, do you want to have another daughter? To be a companion for Zhuo Bao? I don't have the opportunity to have another one. Wei Yi's gaze shifted to Zero, who was grilling meat. It had happened several times now, but there was still no movement. She then ran over to Zero's side. Wow, it smells so good. She picked up a skewer and put it in her mouth. The next second, she spat it out that it's awful. She put it back, awkwardly saying, "Seventh Lord, I'm full." Zero looked at her. Are you sure you don't want any more? He pulled her close and whispered in her ear. After all, the things we'll be doing later are quite strenuous. Wei, he was puzzled. Are there going to be a lot of activities later? Strenuous activities, but you should enjoy them. An image of small delivery truck flashed through Wei Yi's mind. Ugh. She quickly jumped onto him that I'm not eating anymore. Let's start now. I can't wait. She looked at his buttons. Why am I buttoned up so tightly? Seventh Lord, you're so well behaved. Come back to the room with me. She then reached out and started unbuttoning his shirt. Just then, Zero grabbed her wrist and looked at her quizzically. What are you talking about? He then took off his shirt. Lie down on a yoga mat and put some sunscreen on me. Wei Yi, exasperated and speechless, took the sunscreen and slapped it onto his back with a slap, slap, slap. Zero scowled. This woman was definitely doing it on purpose. Zero closed his eyes and said softly, things have been a bit unstable overseas lately. Try not to go abroad. Be careful. If anything happens, come to me. Wei Yi's heart warmed. Was he worried about her? The force in her hands gradually softened. I understand. At that moment, the actor Chi Ma-tong suddenly appeared, interrupting them. Sister-in-law, can you give me a role in your next movie? As soon as he finished speaking, thump, Zero punched him. Get lost. The next second, a dessert appeared in front of Wei. Madam, your dessert has arrived. Wei looked up at the person dressed in an elephant costume. This voice sounded so familiar. See ya. Second floor balcony of the hotel. I heard you were injured in the Empire. Let me see. She immediately moved forward to examine her. Sure, Jia quickly blocked her. Oh, it's nothing. Getting injured is normal. She then grabbed Wei Yi's hand and looked at her seriously. I was on a business trip to the Empire and discovered someone is investigating you. And you've been targeted by the Deep Sea Organization. You should hire some private bodyguards. She explained the Deep Sea Organization is an international assassination organization. Their headquarters are in the Empire. Wei, he was puzzled. The Empire? I don't have any grudges against the Empire. Sure, Jia explained further. After what happened in the Empire, the Qian family, in their search for their eldest daughter, and in conjunction with the Genesis Society, the Deep Sea Organization, and the Euless Dean family, these notorious overseas forces have joined together. They're planning to expand towards Eurasia. They've definitely set their sights on Huagua's Lin Corporation. And naturally, they've also targeted you, the wife of Lin's CEO. Yi Gezi wasn't involved, though. She also paid the agreed-upon fee to our intelligence network. Coincidentally, my family has arranged for some relatives to come here, and I've been thinking about settling down myself. Upon hearing this, Wei Yi quickly smiled and pointed to the people downstairs. What a coincidence, Sure Jia. Why don't you meet Chi Ma-tong? He's downstairs. Sure Jia looked at her, somewhat lost in thought. She had once been on a mission in M country and happened to encounter an explosion on the set of his film. She had saved him from the fire. She wondered if he still remembered. Thinking of this, Sure Jia shook her head. No need. We're from two different worlds. She then asked, pointing towards the people in the swimming pool, who's the one wearing glasses? Wei replied, he's my brother-in-law, by family's eldest son, Zero's cousin. His name is by Qing Xiao. I think he's a bit off. The only thing off is his nodding and cold snorting. He has improper thoughts about my brother. Sure Jia, with her cop's intuition, is very sharp. She thinks this by Qing Xiao is fishy. As the year draws to a close, the Huayo Awards ceremony officially kicks off in the imperial capital as one of the three most prestigious film awards in Hua country. Every year it creates a nationwide sensation, attracting national attention. The Little Monkey King team, as a participating film crew, was invited to walk the red carpet together. Jian Dan and Yi Qingtian's outfits and styling this time were personally designed by Zhu Yu. The two, with their dazzling and eye-catching appearance, garnered significant attention on the red carpet. The Hawaii ceremony officially opened, and with the sound of music, the awards ceremony began. Jian Dan and Yi Qingtian's legs were trembling under the stage. Jian Dan trembled and said, "Qingtian, stop shaking." Yi Qingtian also said, "Clearly you started shaking first. I caught it from you." Fenfang Entertainment's participating artists, Fu Xiaochun and Wang Chaoyong, sat to the side, watching them. They couldn't help but snort coldly. At this time, Wei Yi, sitting behind them, went forward and patted Jian Dan's shoulder. "Don't be nervous. Compared to those red carpet regulars, you just lack a bit of clout. But we," she continued, "came here with a work that has garnered widespread acclaim." At this moment, award presenter, the winner of this year's YU Award for Best Newcomer is Yi Lingtian. Jian Dan offered her congratulations as thunderous applause erupted from the audience. Jian Dan excitedly gripped Yi Qingtian's hand. Qingtian, quickly tell me this isn't a dream." "This isn't a dream," Yi Qingtian quickly replied. "It's not a dream. This really isn't a dream." Wei Yi from behind mischievously asked, "Seventh Lord, you didn't pull any strings behind the scenes, did you?" Our team swept both newcomer awards. Zero clapped and said, "No. I know you don't like underhanded dealings." They won because they are talented enough. With Jian Dan and Yi Qingtian's Best Newcomer Awards, plus Mao Dao about to sweep 12 major domestic and international awards with this film, Wei Yi thought Creation World will definitely notice Reach in studio now. The host announced, "Now, we invite the two Best Newcomer Award winners to come on stage to receive your awards." Yi Qingtian, supporting Jian Dan, forced himself to appear calm and elegant as they walked towards the stage. As they passed by Fu Xiaochun, she suddenly stuck out her foot, inconspicuously tripping Jian Dan, then quickly retracted it. Jian Dan was wearing high heels and descending the stairs. So with this trip, she instantly lost control and stumbled forward. The audience, both on and off stage, watched this scene with bated breath. Was the Best Newcomer actress going to fall flat on her face before even accepting her award? This wouldn't be a good omen. However, just as she was about to fall to the ground in this critical moment, Yi Qingtian reacted with superhuman speed. His tall body turned, his upper body dipped slightly, and a surprisingly romantic scene unfolded. Jian Dan, in her rose-colored dress, like a stumbling elf, fell into the prince's arms. It seemed as though Jian Dan then looked up, her beautiful eyes sparkling with surprise and shyness, like a deer caught in headlights, gazing deeply into Yi Qingtian's eyes. After the Huayo Awards ceremony ended, Fu Xiaochun, with a gloomy expression, left with her team. Seeing this, Wei quickly pulled Jian Dan over to stop her. "Hey, long time no see." Fu Xiaochun looked at the two of them, grinding her teeth. She thought, "I can't afford to offend Mrs. Lin, but Jian Dan can forget about getting the better of me." She then glared coldly at Jian Dan and snarled, "Jian Dan, aren't you just trying to show off your trophy? What's there to be so proud of? It's just a Best Newcomer Award. Look how happy you are. Be careful not to get too carried away." Wei Yi, with her arm around Jian Dan's shoulder, looked at Fu Xiaochun and smiled sweetly. "There's nothing we can do. It's Jian Dan's first time playing a female lead, and she won an award. A Best Newcomer Award. Although it's not very prestigious, it's still an award. Jian Dan, go get your revenge," Wei Yi said, giving her a little push forward. Jian Dan rubbed her hands and looked at Fu Xiaochun. "Junior, have you ever held a trophy yourself?" "A trophy? What does it feel like? What does it weigh? Do you know?" "Jan Dan fein sudden realization kropka oh, I'm sorry. I forgot." "Junior, you debuted at a young age. You've been in the industry for so many years, yet you haven't even won a single award. Junior, you still need to keep working hard. Strive to win the Best Newcomer Award next year." Wei Yi chimed in. She's been in the industry for so many years. "What Best Newcomer Award? If anything, it should be the Best Veteran Award." Jian Dan stifled a laugh and nodded. Right. Best Veteran Award. It's a pity there's no such award. Otherwise, Junior could still give it a shot." Fu Xiaochun trembled with anger, her face turning an unsightly shade. Her assistant, Zhou, quickly reminded her, "Sister Xiaochun, you must control yourself." Hearing this, Fu Xiaochun forced down her anger. She thought calmly, "Sister Fin isn't here. No one is here to back me up. A wise man knows when to retreat." Fu Xiaochun haughtily brushed past Jian Dan. Jian Dan's eyes flashed. Taking advantage of the moment no one was paying attention, she stepped on Fu Xiaochun's dress hem. "Fu Xiaochun, didn't have a Prince Charming to catch her. Thus, with a thud, she fell flat on her face. Jian Dan feigned concern and exclaimed, "Oh dear. Junior, why did you suddenly fall?" Fu Xiaochun fell as ungracefully as possible, her hair a mess. She glared furiously up at Jian Dan, her whole body trembling. "You bitch! You stepped on my dress on purpose." Jian Dan's expression suddenly changed, her eyes icy as she looked at Fu Xiaochun. "I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Should I ask them to pull up the security footage? Let everyone see what you did to me earlier." Fu Xiaochun was so angry she wanted to hit someone. Her assistant, Zhou Zhou, hurried over to help her up. "Sister, calm down. You can't resort to violence. There are so many reporters and cameras around. Be careful not to get caught." Hearing this, Fu Xiaochun quickly retracted her arrogance. Then, with a jolt of fear, she thought, these two bitches are so vicious. They were deliberately trying to provoke me, to make me lose control. Once the reporters capture this scene and post it online, my image will be instantly ruined. Fu Xiaochun forced down her anger and sneered. "Senior, just you wait and see. We still have a long way to go in the entertainment industry. We'll see what happens." "Sure, we'll see." Jian Dan smiled and waved. After Fu Xiaochun left, Jian Dan let out a heavy sigh of relief. Then she turned away. "Was I okay just now? After all, I just won an award, and then I did that in public." Wei smiled. "That's fine. You should be clear about your likes and dislikes, especially in the entertainment industry." Suddenly, a tall, dark figure cast a heavy shadow over her. Jian Dan's back stiffened, and her hair stood on end. Her hand trembled in fear. "Who's there?" she whispered, turning around in alarm. But in the next second, a domineering and forceful hand gripped the back of her head, and her lips were sealed by a forceful kiss. A hot, wet tongue pushed its way past her teeth. The familiar scent of cologne made Jian Dan's heart clench, and she almost stopped breathing. Wei stared at the two, stunned. "My goodness, it's Kuan Shao." Could it be that Kuan Shao saw Jian Dan and Qing Tian's interaction at the awards ceremony and couldn't sit still any longer, rushing over to stake his claim? "Looks like I don't have anything to do here." Thinking this, Wei turned to leave, intending to find Seventh Lord. "I wonder if I gave him and Miss Wan enough privacy." Suddenly, a woman brushed past her. Wei heard the woman snort coldly. Wei became instantly alert. She raised her hand and suddenly discovered a wristband on it. "Who gave this to me?" Looking closer, she saw the words New World Order and a cross on the wristband. That woman just now was a member of the Genesis Order. Wei quickly turned around, but the woman was gone. A thrill of excitement ran through Wei. It seems they can't hold back any longer. I've finally waited for this moment. Meanwhile, at the tea house. "Long time no see, Seventh Lord." Zero looked at the person opposite him with an impassive expression that it's been a few years. "I heard you're thriving in the Empire." Wan Yingjin, the eldest daughter of the Wan family, smiled at him. "A few years? That's not right. Didn't we just interact a few days ago? Just not face to face." Zero looked at her quietly and said with a cold laugh, "Really? How come I don't know about this?" "Seventh Lord, why play coy? Ever since the Lin family expelled our Wan family from Huagua, we've been squeezed into a small corner of the empire for all these years. The Wan and Lin families have long been at odds. Let's just get straight to the point." Her gaze at Zero gradually turned cold. "The Lin family has kept the Wan family out of Huagua's financial circles for years. This time, the Wan family has chosen the Night Group in the Imperial Capital as our breakthrough point. It's the weakest link in the Imperial Capital's financial circle. I don't think CEO Sun and CEO Wu have the ability to defend against our Wan family. They'll take precautions. Isn't it because they received guidance from certain expert?" Zero feigned ignorance that CEO Sun and CEO Wu are both business prodigies. It's normal for them to be able to defend against the Wan family. But as far as I know, the entire Imperial Capital is subservient to the Lin Corporation, obeying President Lin's every command. In the end, aren't they able to defend against us because Seventh Lord is backing them? Wan Yingjin said coldly. Zero didn't speak, but his gaze turned icy. Seeing this, Wan Yingjin continued, "Oh, Seventh Lord, you've guarded Huagua for so many years, not allowing any foreign influence to seep in. But now, the joint rule of the world by domestic and foreign powers is the most important thing. Even if our foreign forces enter Huagua, this country will still be under your corporation's control. We won't force the issue. Seventh Lord, accepting our foreign influence immediately. Everything takes time. No need to say more. Zero interrupted Wan Ingjin before she could finish. The Lin Corporation will not cooperate with you. He then looked up at her, his eyes full of warning. Anyone who tries to force open the Lin Corporation's door or engages in any shady dealings behind the scenes will not end well. Wan Ingjin quickly asked tentatively, so you're only responsible for the Lin Corporation's own territory. As for what our Wan family does in Huagua, President Lin won't interfere, is that right? After listening, Zero sneered. Huagua prohibits all dirty dealings. The Wan family doesn't walk the right path, insisting on engaging in those dirty businesses. If you've been driven away, don't ever think of coming back. The Wan family can't do anything in Huagua. Wan Ingjin gripped her hand tightly. You're as detestable as ever, domineering and unreasonable, spoiled and self-centered, always with this inexplicable sense of superiority, arrogant and obsessed with saving face, autocratic, duplicitous, never admitting your mistakes, unrepentant. In fact, you just get worse. Wan Ingjin glared at him, her teeth gritted. She was so proud, yet she could only watch his retreating figure from afar, cold-shouldered by him, dumped and rejected. I curse you to never find true love or happiness. Zero looked at her indifferently and said, thanks for the compliment. Just then, the clicking of high heels approached from behind. Wei came up from behind and wrapped her arms around Zero's neck. Seventh Lord, let's go home. Wan Ingjin scoffed at them. Luckily, I didn't marry you. Wei looked at her mockingly. Miss Wan, even if you wanted to marry him, you wouldn't have the chance now. The next second, Wei tightened her hold on Zero's shoulders and kissed him on the lips. Wan Ingjin seethed with anger. Showing off, this woman. She must have married Zero for his money and status. Watching their departing figures, Wan Ingjin suddenly felt that Zero seemed to have genuine feelings for this woman. Her gaze, fixed on their backs, sharpened. Everyone has a weakness. Now, with the Genesis Order backing the Wan family, Wan Ingjin knew she couldn't touch Zero, so she would start with his wife. The day before New Year's Eve, at the temporary villa, Wei sat on the sofa, having spent the entire day reading a script. Just then, Shally walked over. Madam, we haven't been able to find anything on the Genesis Order member who secretly sent you the wristband. The surveillance footage related to that woman has been deleted. To throw us off, they even deleted footage from other scenes. Unlike before, this time it's completely unrecoverable and untraceable. Wei was silent for a moment. Then, she took off her glasses and rubbed the corners of her eyes. The Genesis Order, a secret organization attempting to conquer the world, naturally operates cleanly. Just wait. They'll make their next move soon. Then there will be clues to follow. Madam, you've been reading the script all afternoon. Take a break, Shally urged. Wei quickly closed the script. Stretching, she said excitedly, my eyes are sore. I finally found the script I've been looking for. The genre is fresh, the plot unique. Shally was curious. What kind of story is it? Wie Beamit. The script is called Stimulant. It's mainly about a seed from outer space that lands on Earth and evolves into a man, A. I've already decided Jiandan will play A, but due to genetic issues, A can switch genders at will. Because A wants to return to their home planet, they've been searching for a way to escape Earth, until they stumble upon the Interstellar Aviation Commission and discover a shocking secret. If they can find a mysterious energy codenamed Fire Seed, they can blast open the inner transit orbit between Earth and their home planet. But only the Vice President of the Interstellar Aviation Commission, D, knows where the Fire Seed is. I plan to have Qing Tian play Vice President D. To obtain the Fire Seed, A uses a honey trap. No, more accurately, a honeyman trap. And D actually falls for it. They even fall in love with A. But A is actually a scumbag. A steals the Fire Seed, blows a hole in Earth, and escapes. Earth's temperature drastically changes, becoming an ice planet within just 5 years. To retrieve the Fire Seed, D has to personally lead a team to find A and settle the score. In short, it's a story about saving Earth, interspersed with a naive Earthling being played by a shrewd and intelligent alien. Wei spoke with great enthusiasm. Shally dutifully gasped, then added, will a script like that really be good? Wei held the script and smiled. This interstellar sci-fi novel sounds a bit out there at first, but it's bold, profound, imaginative, and reflects many aspects of society. We can start the project after the new year. I'll have to get in touch with the original author. Just then, Zero returned. He walked up behind her, lifted her chin, and kissed her forehead. Don't you get tired of reading? Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I'm working through New Year's. Wei Yi sighed, rubbing her eyes. I'm tired, but I need to find a suitable script for Jiandan and Qingtian quickly. Strike while the iron is hot and capitalize on the popularity of Little Monkey King to launch even better projects. Just then, Zhuo Bao came running over excitedly. Mommy, Daddy, we got an invitation to the Kuma Charity Masquerade Ball. Let's get ready for the masquerade costumes together. Wei quickly picked him up. Baby, I'm sorry. Mommy has been busy with work and hasn't spent much time with you lately. I'll make it up to you in the next few months. She showered his face with kisses. Zhuo Bao looked triumphantly at his scowling father. Zero was clearly displeased. He gestured towards Zhuo Bao's outfit. Lian is also going to ball tomorrow night. Are you sure you want to wear something so childish? Zhuo Bao immediately hopped down from Wei Yi's lap and stomped off. I'll ask Annie Xiao Li to help me change into another outfit. After Zhuo Bao left, Zero quickly sat down next to his wife. That boy is completely love-struck. When we're old, it'll probably just be you and me. Vi vinket pidai. Of course, I'll be with you until we're old. Not only will I be with you, I'll take care of you. She pulled out a bank card.